Chapter 236. With the help of Zhao Yin, the chicken couldn't run away even if it wanted to. Zhao Yin quickly took out the hemp grass and tied the chicken's wings. She weighed it in her hand and estimated that it weighed 3 or 4 jin. It was fatter than the pheasants she usually saw. If she took it back to cook, she estimated that she could cook a large plate of chicken. It had to be said that Chen Erwa had done well to catch this chicken. Otherwise, with Zhao Yin's skill, the pheasant would have flown away by the time she arrived. "Aunt Yin, there are eggs in the chicken coop." Chen Erwa pointed to the chicken coop. Zhao Yin looked down and saw that there were more than 10 eggs lying in the chicken coop. She didn't know if the pheasant wanted to hatch chicks. Zhao Yin carefully picked up the eggs. She put them into the basket. Today's harvest was beyond her expectations. "Erwa, you are so amazing. You can even catch this pheasant." Chen Erwa shyly scratched his head, and his little face was red. However, it could be seen that he was still very happy to be praised by Zhao Yin. "Erwa Gij is so amazing." Daodu also looked at Chen Erwa with some admiration. "It's nothing." Chen Erwa became more and more shy. "Erwa, eat at Aunt Yin's place today. Yin cooked dinner early, so that your mother won't be in a hurry to call you home for dinner." Chen Erwa shyly responded. Because of the bountiful harvest, when they went down the mountain, they were very happy. Zhao Yin also sang a few nursery rhymes for the children. The children of this era had naturally never heard of it. Zhao Yin's voice was clear and pleasant, and her singing drifted far in the woods. The joy of this moment was very rare. In this carefree rural life, Zhao Yin found that she also liked it from the bottom of her heart. After walking for 20 or 30 minutes, they finally went down the mountain and reached the road in the village. She didn't expect to meet Chen Erwa's mother, Feng Yu, on the way. When Feng Yu saw Chen Erwa and Zhao Yin together and laughing so happily, his face immediately darkened. He scolded Chen Erwa and then said sternly, "Erwa, where did you go? Aren't you afraid that she'll lead you astray if you get together with anyone? Our Chen family is an innocent family." Feng Yu's words were very unpleasant to hear. In fact, he was indirectly scolding the locust tree. She thought she was scolding Chen Erwa, but she was scolding Zhao Yin in disguise. Zhao Yin didn't feel good when she heard that. Was there a need for this Feng Yu to speak so harshly? It was too much to do it in front of a child. Feng Yu didn't feel it at all. A pair of eyes coldly swept over Zhao Yin's face with a look of disgust. Chen Erwa felt uncomfortable when he heard Feng Yu say that about Zhao Yin. "Mother, don't say that about Aunt Yin. I want to play with Aunt Yin." Seeing that Chen Erwa actually defended Zhao Yin, Feng Yu was even more furious. She poked Chen Erwa's head with her thick black fingers and reprimanded, "You damn child! How dare you talk back to your mother? If I see you running away in fear and hanging out with some shady people again, I will break your legs." Chen Erwa didn't dare to speak after being scolded. Zhao Yin looked at Feng Yu's attitude towards Chen Erwa and shook her head in her heart. This child was really pitiful. After all, he was her own child. She didn't need to treat him like this, right? Chapter 237. Zhao Yin's words made Feng Yu very unhappy. Feng Yu coldly snorted at Zhao Yin and said, "What? I'm disciplining my son and you want to interfere? Zhao Yin, who do you think you are? Meddling in other people's business." Zhao Yin was refuted by Feng Yu and didn't know what to say. She was silent for a moment. There was nothing wrong with what Feng Yu said. She was disciplining her own child. She had no right to interfere. However, Chen Erwa was scolded like this because he was with her. After thinking about it, Zhao Yin replied, "I don't care if you discipline your own child. Then tell me, what do you mean by a shady person? You have to give me an explanation for scolding me like this, right?" Feng Yu rolled her eyes at Zhao Yin. "If you're not a shady person, then what are you? Doesn't everyone in the village know what kind of woman you are? You got pregnant before marriage, and then seduced men. You dare to do it, but don't dare to let others talk about it?" Zhao Yin looked at Feng Yu's rampant appearance and really wanted to slap her a few times. After all, she was Chen Erwa's mother. In front of Chen Erwa, Zhao Yin couldn't do anything. "You're not allowed to talk about my mother like this." Daodu was also angry. His little face angrily stared at Feng Yu. "So what if I talk about your mother? Aren't you also a little bastard? Humph. Tell me, where's your father? Is there no one? Well, Daodu was so angry that he cried for a moment. He suddenly threw himself into Zhao Yiner's arms. Chen Erwa couldn't stand Feng Yu's excessive appearance, and said to Feng Yu, Mother, how can you say that about Aunt Yin and Daodu? You're so bad. Zhao Yiner patted Daoda's back with one hand. She could endure it, but in front of Chen Erwa, it was fine as long as they didn't do anything too excessive to her. Obviously, this Feng Yu wasn't. This woman was simply pushing her luck. Just as Feng Yu was feeling proud of himself, Zhao Yiner slapped Feng Yu across the face. Feng Yu immediately felt a burning pain on his face. You! How dare you hit me? I'll fight you to the death. Zhao Yiner scolded. I'm warning you, don't provoke me. This slap is for what you said. If you fight me again, you'll end up worse than this. Chen Erwa quickly pulled Feng Yu back. Mother, don't fight with Aunt Yin. You can't beat her. Feng Yu had heard some things in the village before. The current Zhao Yiner was not as easy to bully as before. She was very powerful. If he couldn't make a move, was he going to take a slap for nothing? Feng Yu sat down on the ground and began to cry. He cursed, You hit me. Is there any justice in this world? Zhao Yiner frowned in disgust. This Feng Yu was not old, but how could she be more difficult to deal with than those middle-aged women in their 30s or 40s? Mother, get up. Chen Erwa pulled Feng Yu on the ground. Feng Yu blamed the pain of her slap on Chen Erwa. If it wasn't for this little brat, she wouldn't have been beaten so badly. Therefore, when Chen Erwa was pulling Feng Yu kicked Chen Erwa, and Chen Erwa fell to the ground. His hand rubbed against the sharp stones on the ground, and his skin was immediately scraped and some blood oozed out. Although it was painful, Chen Erwa endured it and didn't cry. Zhao Yiner didn't know why Feng Yu, as a mother, was so cruel to her own child. Chapter 238. Zhao Yiner looked at Chen Erwa with heartache and helped him up. Erwa, how are you? Does it hurt? Chen Erwa shook his head, feeling wronged. No pain. Sigh, how could that be? So much of his skin had been scraped off. The injury was already very serious. Sighing, Zhao Yiner could not say anything. The more she blamed Feng Yu, the more disappointed Chen Erwa would be. She thought that it would take a long time. But fortunately, Chen Erwa's father, Chen Ainyu, came over. Chen Ainyu was only 27 or 28 years old. He looked like Feng Yu, very dark and very skinny. However, he was very tall, about 1.8 meters. In this era, he was already considered tall. Chen Ainyu saw his wife sitting on the ground carelessly, and could not help but frown. He pulled Feng Yu up. Why are you sitting on the ground? What do you look like? Chen Ainyu's tone had a hint of reprimand. In this era where men were superior to women, most women were more afraid of men, and were submissive to men. After Chen Ainyu reprimanded her, Feng Yu did not dare to cry too loudly. Instead, she complained to Chen Ainyu. Ainyu, look at my face. It's so red. It's all because of this B***tch. Chen Ainyu looked at Feng Yu's cheek that had been slapped. He replied faintly, Your face is clearly dark. Where is it red? Because of Chen Ainyu's words, Zhao Yiner almost burst out laughing. She was originally quite angry, but now she only felt that it was funny. Feng Yu's face was dark. She really did get slapped, but there was no reaction. It was probably because the original black color covered the red color. Speaking of which, this Feng Yu was also very dark. She looked like she came from Africa. Feng Yu was a little anxious. She moved her face closer and pulled Chen Ainyu, saying, Look again, Ainyu, look again. It's definitely there. Chen Ainyu was a little annoyed. Alright, what's going on? She wouldn't hit you for no reason, right? Zhao Yiner looked at Chen Ainyu again. She felt that this man should be more reasonable than Feng Yu. Without waiting for Zhao Yiner to explain, Chen Erwa helped Zhao Yiner to explain. Chen Ainyu's face darkened. He reprimanded Feng Yu. You still have the face to be hit? You're just a troublemaker. Feng Yu felt wronged. Ainyu, you're my man. You're not helping me, you're helping another woman? Has your soul been taken away by this little B***tch as well? How could this be? ain't you? He had only seen Zhao Yin'er today. How could he have any shady business with Zhao Yin'er? You crazy woman. If you talk nonsense again, I'll teach you a lesson when we get back. Chen Ania said fiercely. Feng Yu didn't dare to speak anymore. Chen Ania looked at Zhao Yin'er and apologized to Zhao Yin'er. Miss Yin'er, my wife's words were a little harsh. I hope you don't take it to heart. I'll apologize on her behalf. Since Chen Ania had said so, Zhao Yin'er didn't have any reason to not let it go. On the contrary, this Chen family finally had a reasonable person. She was quite glad. Chapter 239. Feng Yu's matter had nothing to do with Chen Ania and Chen Erhua. If she really wanted to settle the score, she could settle the score with Feng Yu alone later. Zhao Yin'er's slight smile, on her delicate and pretty face, was particularly charming. Chen Ania had never seen such a beautiful woman. He didn't have the slightest bit of interest in a dark and swarthy woman every day. Zhao Yin'er's smile made her feel the beauty of a woman. For a moment, Chen Ania was a little stunned. Feng Yu saw Zhao Yin'er smiling at her man, and her man was also attracted by Zhao Yin. It was as if she had hooked his soul. She immediately cursed in her heart. This little b***tch really only knew how to seduce people. Now she was probably eyeing her man again. A pair of resentful eyes glared at Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er pretended not to see it. She naturally knew Feng Yu's warning, but she was not seducing people. Aniu, aren't we leaving yet? Feng Yu pulled Chen Aniu. If they did not leave quickly, they did not know what would happen. Only then did Chen Aniu react and realize that he had lost his composure. Go, of course we're going. Chen Aniu responded. Then let's go quickly. Okay. Chen Erhua wanted to follow, but his leg was injured and he could not walk at all. Feng Yu not only ignored him, but turned back and said to Chen Erhua, Erhua, let's go back and see how to deal with you. Feng Yu also blamed Chen Erhua for today's bitter experience. Chen Erhua was so scared that he trembled. Okay, don't scare Erhua. Let the child go quickly. Zhao Yin'er thought that the pheasant had not been cooked yet. If Chen Erhua went back, he might not be able to eat it. Seeing that the wounds on Chen Erhua's legs and hands seemed to be serious, she said to Chen Aniu, Erhua's father, I think Erhua is badly hurt. How about this? I still have some herbs at home. I will take Erhua back and bandage him. When he is bandaged, I will let him go back. What do you think? Chen Ania thought for a moment and nodded. Then I'll have to trouble Miss Yin'er. It's no trouble. Feng Yu was too lazy to see Chen Erhua. It was good that this damn child didn't come back. It would be better if he stayed with Zhao Yin'er and didn't come back. However, Zhao Yin'er's words still made her very angry. Wasn't pretending to be kind in front of her man a way to seduce him? This woman was really scheming. On the way, Chen Ania couldn't help but scold Feng Yu. Mother of my child, sometimes you go too far. Erhua is our biological child after all. Why are you so cruel to him? It's better for an outsider to treat our Erhua better. Chen Ania's sigh was also true. Over the years, there were many children in the family, and there were always some who were not favored. When Feng Yu gave birth to Chen Erhua, she had a trip to the gates of hell. So Feng Yu felt that Chen Erhua brought misfortune to her. So she treated this child the worst. But for Chen Aniu, any child was the same. They were all his children. For so many years, if he had not often protected Erhua, who knew what would have become of him? Chapter 240. Woman, what nonsense are you spouting again? I'm just telling the truth. Child's father, what kind of lie are you spouting? I don't know who was the one who stared straight at that bitch just now. And you still say you didn't? Why don't you ask others if they believe you? Feng Yu cried and made a fuss again. The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. Wasn't that bitch just a little better looking than her? Was there a need to stare at her like that? You're too unreasonable. If you keep spouting nonsense, see if I don't teach you a lesson. Chen Ania glared at Feng Yu fiercely. Feng Yu was frightened by Chen Ania's look. She knew that if she spoke too much, Chen Ania might beat her when they got back. She quickly shut her mouth, but her hatred towards Zhao Yin'er increased a little. After Chen Aniu and Feng Yu left, Zhao Yin'er squatted in front of Chen Erhua and asked softly, Erhua, it hurts a lot, right? Can you stand up and walk? Or Aunt Yin will be. Chun Erwa quickly shook his head. It's okay, Aunt Yin. I can walk by myself. Really? Erwa, don't try to be brave. Really, Aunt Yin? I'll get up slowly and walk slowly. It'll be okay. Chun Erwa insisted. Zhao Yin'er looked at Chun Erwa admiringly. Actually, this child was not that old. If it was the 21st century, he would have already thrown himself into his parents' arms and cried in pain. How could he be like now, not crying or making a fuss, and still insisting on getting up by himself? Erwa is great. Zhao Yin'er praised and helped Chun Erwa up. Then she supported him and followed her back home. Zhao Yin'er put down the basket and took out the things inside. She picked out the medicine to stop bleeding and pain, ground it and started to apply it on Chun Erwa's leg. She took out a piece of white cloth and bandaged Chun Erwa's leg. How is it, Erwa, are you better? Much better. Thank you, Aunt Yin. No need to thank me. Zhao Yin'er patted Chun Erwa's head. He asked Chun Erwa to sit down and rest while Zhao Tianfu accompanied him. Daodu, on the other hand, had already run into the house. Zhao Yin'er got up, carried a basin of hot water, and entered the room. After entering, she found Daodu crying in Mu Lianfeng's arms. Mu Lianfeng hugged Daodu and gently patted Daoda's back. Daoda's small body sank into Mu Lianfeng's embrace. It was a little warm. Zhao Yin'er hurriedly asked, Daoda, what's wrong? Zhao Yin'er could hear Daoda's soft sobs. If the child wanted to cry, shouldn't he be crying in her arms? How did she end up in Mu Lianfeng's arms? Daoda lifted his small and delicate face, which was still tear-stained. Looking at Daoda's aggrieved little face, Zhao Yin'er's heart ached. Mu Lianfeng explained. Yin'er, Daoda said that he wants a father. Zhao Yin'er was stunned. Mu Lianfeng began to explain again. Daoda said that others say that he is a wild child and has no father. If I become his father, no one will say that about him anymore. Zhao Yin'er was a little embarrassed. Master Mu, Daoda is young and doesn't know anything. He just said that casually, don't take it seriously. Chapter 241. Besides what? Besides, I think Daoda is very cute. I'm very happy to be Daoda's father. Mu Lianfeng said with a faint smile on his lips. Looking at the smile on Mu Lianfeng's face, which seemed to have a deeper meaning, Zhao Yin'er was a little embarrassed. What did this man mean? If he was willing to be Daoda's father, did that mean that he was willing to marry her? Was this a confession to her? Zhao Yin'er shook her head. Maybe she had misunderstood and was narcissistic. Mu Lianfeng had so many women around him, and there were so many beauties. With so many beauties around him, and her looks were so ordinary, would Mu Lianfeng take a fancy to her? It wasn't that he wasn't confident, but sometimes it was better to be realistic. Otherwise, there would be a misunderstanding and a joke. Mu. Young Master Mu, are you joking? Zhao Yin'er said with a smile. Joking? Miss Yin'er, why would I joke? I really like Daoda, and I think Daoda is very good. Why don't I take Daoda as my godson? Mu Lianfeng was still smiling as he said to Zhao Yin'er. Mu. Young Master Mu. You want to take Daoda as your godson? Zhao Yin'er asked with uncertainty. What was Mu Lianfeng's status? He was the heir. If he took Daoda as his godson, Daoda's status would rise along with Mu Lianfeng. Seeing that Zhao Yin'er didn't say anything, Mu Lianfeng thought that Zhao Yin'er didn't agree, so he asked again. What's wrong, Miss Yin'er? Does Miss Yin'er think that it's inappropriate for Daoda to take me as his godson? No. Zhao Yin'er hurriedly waved her hand. Then, young Master Mu, it's not a small matter to take in a godson. Do you need to discuss it with your family? Will it affect you in the future if you take in Daoda? After all, you're not married yet. Naturally, no one else can interfere with my decision. As long as Miss Yin'er agrees, there's no need to worry about anything else. Zhao Yin'er had no reason to refuse after hearing Mu Lianfeng's words. If Daoda was willing, Mu Lianfeng was also willing. Was too. It's their family's family. That's right, they were at a disadvantage. Only his faces goer's eyes. He was just waiting for Zhao Yin'er to nod. If Zhao Yin'er refused, Daoda would probably be sad again. Is. The corners of Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. That's good. Is there any ceremony needed for this? Zhao Yin'er asked. The ceremony of the 21st century was probably different from the ancient times. She didn't know what to do in this era. Miss Yin'er, I'll do the ceremony when I get back to the Shixi's residence. All right then. Seeing that Zhao Yin'er and Mu Lianfeng had reached an agreement, Dao De wiped away the tears on his face with his tender little hands. Father, Dao De's mother and father were very sweet, and it softened people's hearts. For some reason, Zhao Yin'er still had a strange feeling. If Dao De called her father like this every day, wouldn't people think that Mu Lianfeng was her man if they heard it? Mu Lianfeng patted Dao De's head lovingly. It was rare for him to show fatherly love in his eyes. This kind of feeling was something he had never had before. Chapter 242. Dao De won't be a fatherless child from now on. Dao De is so happy. Dao De said in a soft voice. His pair of beautiful eyes curved into crescents when he smiled. Mother. Then is Uncle Mu considered mother's husband now? Uncle Mu is tall, handsome and rich. Dao De looked at Zhao Yin'er with an innocent face. The corner of Zhao Yin'er's mouth twitched slightly. Children. Were they all so naive? Dao De, it's true that your Uncle Feng is your godfather, but he has nothing to do with mother. Zhao Yin'er hurriedly clarified, afraid that Mu Lianfeng would misunderstand. Dao De's words just now had already made her very embarrassed. She didn't know if Mu Lianfeng would laugh at her in his heart. She secretly glanced at Mu Lianfeng and found that the smile on his face had deepened. Her face slightly reddened. Zhao Yin'er hurriedly shifted her gaze away. Dao De looked at Zhao Yin'er with a puzzled expression. Mother, why is that? Uncle Feng is my father. Come, mother, you are my mother. So wouldn't Uncle Feng be mother's husband? Dao De's deductive ability seemed very strong, but as a child, there were many things that he didn't understand. Dao De, you can't count it like that. You recognize your Uncle Feng as your godfather. So that's between you and your Uncle Feng. If your Uncle Feng wants to become mother's husband, then mother must marry your Uncle Feng. Dao De nodded as if he didn't fully understand. Zhao Yin'er and Mu Lianfeng definitely wouldn't marry Mu Lianfeng, just because Mu Lianfeng was his godfather. Of course, even if she was willing, Mu Lianfeng might not be willing. If Mu Lianfeng agreed, he had the support of the Shixi manor behind him. If those upper-class people knew that Mu Lianfeng had married a village woman, and a village woman with a child, they would probably object. Mother, in that case, won't it be fine if Uncle Feng marries you? Zhao Yin'er was rendered speechless by Dao De's words. How could this child think of such things? Was he really a 3-year-old child? Mu Lianfeng finally couldn't help but laugh. This smile was too beautiful. It was even more charming than a woman's. It had to be said that Mu Lianfeng's face had both the heroic spirit of a man and the beauty of a woman. He had never seen such a beautiful and exquisite face anywhere else. Mu Lianfeng's laughter made Zhao Yin'er feel even more at a loss. Mu Lianfeng was probably laughing at her, right? If he was laughing at her, then so be it. Dao De, this child, had probably already sold her out. Zhao Yin'er was afraid that the image she left in Mu Lianfeng's heart would be that of a woman who loved money and handsome men. Although in reality, she was more or less such a woman. This Dao De, you can't speak carelessly. Zhao Yin'er said softly and patted Dao De's head. Mother? Can't I? Dao De looked at Zhao Yin'er in confusion. Thinking that this matter should be discussed with Mu Lianfeng, she turned her head to Mu Lianfeng. She said to Mu Lianfeng, Uncle Feng, can you marry my mother? This way, Dao De can have a father, and mother can also have a husband. Zhao Yin'er felt her face twitch fiercely again. Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched slightly and said to Dao De, Uncle Feng has no objections. You have to ask your mother. Chapter 243. The corner of Zhao Yin'er's mouth twitched violently. What kind of joke was this? Moreover, Zhao Yin'er did not like others to joke about this matter. Young Master Mu, stop teasing Dao De. Children will be serious. Zhao Yin'er forced a smile. Miss Yin'er, do you think I'm teasing Dao De? Isn't that so? Young Master Mu, could it be that you're serious? It shouldn't be, right? Yin'er still has self-awareness. A proud son of heaven like young Master Mu must marry a peerless beauty. How can someone like me enter young Master Mu's eyes? Moreover, I'm not proficient in the 4 arts. In short, it was just one sentence. She had no talent and no virtue. The difference between Mu Lianfeng and her was too big. It was impossible for the two of them to be together. Mu Lianfeng smiled and did not answer Zhao Yiner's words. Zhao Yiner did not know what Mu Lianfeng meant. However, he did not continue this topic, which made Zhao Yiner breathe a sigh of relief. Daodu, mother is going to change the dressing for your Uncle Feng. Zhao Yiner said and began to change the topic. She was afraid that Daodu would ask this again, which would only make her embarrassed. Oh, then mother will do it. Daodu quickly retreated. Daodu was still very concerned about Mu Lianfeng's injury. Zhao Yiner twisted the towel in the basin and walked to the bed. Young Master Mu, can you take off your clothes? Or should I do it? I'll have to trouble Miss Yiner. There was a trace of guilt in Mu Lianfeng's tone, but a trace of cunning flashed in his eyes. Zhao Yiner had to bite the bullet and bandage Mu Lianfeng. After treating the wound, Zhao Yiner hurriedly ran out of the room. I'm going to cook, Zhao Yiner said in embarrassment. Looking at Zhao Yiner's departing figure, the corners of Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. He said to Daodu, Daodu, it seems that your mother doesn't like me. What should I do? Daodu gave Mu Lianfeng a comforting look. Uncle Feng, don't worry. I think my mother will definitely like you. Oh, you are so confident. Uncle Feng, you are tall, handsome and rich. Of course my mother likes you. Mu Lianfeng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Will your mother like any other man who has these qualities? Daodu's eyes turned. He thought for a moment and said, Not really, Uncle Feng. Anyway, I think my mother will definitely like you in the future. Haha. Mu Lianfeng laughed heartily. I hope so. Zhao Yiner was busy preparing dinner in the kitchen. Zhao Yiner braised the chicken that she brought back and stir-fried some mushrooms that she had just brought back from the mountain. The pot of chicken and chicken soup was extremely delicious. She also stir-fried a few eggs with green peppers. It was very spicy. Then she added a small vegetable. It was basically wild game. In the 21st century, it was something that couldn't be bought with money. There was rice in the pot that wasn't cooked yet. Zhao Yiner was about to call the children to eat earlier, when a familiar voice sounded in the kitchen. Sister Yiner, this voice was very sweet. Zhao Yiner took a while to react. Was this Xiaohong calling her? Frowning slightly, Zhao Yiner still came out of the kitchen. Sure enough, it was Xiaohong standing at the door. Chapter 244. Zhao Yiner walked over and saw a basket in Xiaohong's hand. There seemed to be something in the basket. Zhao Yiner caught a glimpse of a few eggs and became even more curious. Could it be that Xiaohong had given her these things? What did that mean? Putting away the curiosity in her eyes, Zhao Yiner walked up to Xiaohong and asked, Why are you here? Zhao Yiner's attitude was very cold. Zhao Yiner felt that there was no need to be polite with Xiaohong, who was a white lotus who had harmed her behind her back. Sister Yiner, I'm here to send you something. Xiaohong put on a smile in the face of Zhao Yiner's coldness. Then, she handed the basket in her hand to Zhao Yiner. Sister Yiner, here are some eggs, 10 of them and some brown sugar. Daodu is still young. Give it to Daodu to nourish his body. Sister Yiner saved me last time, but I didn't have the chance to thank you. From what Xiaohong said, she seemed to be a kind-hearted person who knew how to repay kindness. But in fact, she was stabbing someone in the back. She really looked innocent and harmless, but her heart was like a snake. If others saw the things that Xiaohong had sent over, they would indeed feel that it was good. 10 eggs was a rare thing in the countryside. But for Zhao Yiner, she didn't think much of it now. Moreover, Xiaohong had suddenly sent her these things. Who knew what she was up to? You can take it back. I don't lack it. Zhao Yiner didn't even look at it, and coldly threw a sentence. Xiaohong was slightly taken aback. Zhao Yiner was obviously so poor, but she didn't even look at the eggs. It was strange. Sister Yiner, what's wrong with you? Do you think that the things I gave you are too shabby? Xiaohong pretended to be sad. Zhao Yiner frowned in disgust. This woman was really good at pretending. Don't you understand human language? Or are we two different species? I said I don't need it. But, Xiao Hong bit her lower lip, looking sad. Xiao Hong, to be honest, there's no one else here. You don't have to pretend with me. You don't have to use your things to please me. I know what you've done. Zhao Yin'er sneered. She completely treated Xiao Hong as a clown, acting in front of her. Yet she had seen through this show once again. A complicated expression appeared in Xiao Hong's eyes, and the smile on her lips seemed a little stiff. However, she continued to smile at Zhao Yin'er. Big Sister Yin'er, I don't know if you've heard some rumors or misunderstood me. I really didn't do anything to let you down. Little Sister Xiao Hong, I didn't say that you did anything to let me down. Why are you in such a hurry to explain? Or should I say, you're just giving yourself away. Xiao Hong hurriedly waved her hands. Big Sister Yin'er, that's not it. I'm just afraid that you'll misunderstand. You know that the women in our village are like this. They like to say things that don't exist. I know whether you did or not. I told you to stop pretending, so stop pretending. You must have something to say today, right? If you have something to say, just say it. Maybe I can agree. Zhao Yin'er sneered. Chapter 245. Xiao Hong's expression was a little ugly. She thought for a while and said, Sigh. Since Sister Yin'er says so, then I'll say it. I did come here today to ask Sister Yin'er for a favor. Then say it. Zhao Yin'er put her hands on her hips. She wanted to hear what Xiao Hong, this white lotus, wanted to say. Big Sister Yin'er, you also know that girls are more concerned about their own reputation. So I hope that Sister Yin'er won't spread the news that Lu San bullied me. Otherwise, people with ulterior motives will hear it and have other thoughts. After Xiao Hong finished speaking, Zhao Yin'er also understood. So this was what this woman was worried about. Interesting. No wonder she sent things over. It turned out that she was afraid that she would frame Zhao Yin'er in the first place. Then, Zhao Yin'er would use this matter to spread the news and retaliate. Zhao Yin'er finally saw how much Xiao Hong was scheming. However, she wanted to bribe her with such a small thing? Wouldn't that be letting Xiao Hong off too easily? Seeing that Zhao Yin'er didn't say anything and just smiled coldly, Xiao Hong was a little nervous. Sister Yin'er, can you promise me? I beg you, okay? Xiao Hong took a step forward. Zhao Yin'er hurriedly stepped back. Since this woman cared so much about her reputation, how could she disappoint her? One day, she would peel off this layer of skin on the surface. Do you think I'm you? Zhao Yin'er replied indifferently. However, this simple sentence shut Xiao Hong's mouth. Sister Yin'er, okay, don't pretend. Take your things and get out of here. Zhao Yin'er urged. Sister Yin'er. Xiao Hong was a little unwilling. However, looking at Zhao Yin'er's attitude, it was obvious that she didn't want to talk to her. Although she was worried that Zhao Yin'er would really sell her out, there was nothing she could do. Then, Big Sister Yin'er, I'll take my leave first. Xiao Hong said. He glanced at Zhao Yin'er, then turned around and prepared to leave. Suddenly, she heard laughter coming from Zhao Yin'er's house. Amidst the laughter, there was a man's voice. Xiao Hong felt that it was a little strange. Why was there a man's voice in Zhao Yin'er's room? Could it be that she brought some wild man back? It would be great if that was the case. If she was really caught, her crime would be even worse than seducing someone. A woman bringing a man back was a crime that could be sunk into the lake. Xiao Hong stretched her head towards Zhao Yin'er's house. Zhao Yin'er asked coldly, What are you looking at? Sister Yin'er, I heard a man's voice. Is there a guest in your house? Zhao Yin'er immediately understood. Xiao Hong probably heard Mu Lianfeng's voice. What guest? My brother and son are in the house. What's wrong? As Zhao Yin'er spoke, she stood in front of Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong retracted her head. Then, okay then. Sister Yin'er, I'll take my leave. Just as Xiao Hong was about to leave, Zhao Yin'er saw Lu Lei walking over from not far away. An idea flashed through her mind. Since Xiao Hong, this white lotus, wanted to frame her, then she would let Xiao Hong know what it was like to be framed. An eye for an eye. Chapter 246. Ouch, Zhao Yin'er cried out in pain. Lu Lei saw it from afar, and immediately ran over. Yin'er, how are you? Are you okay? Zhao Yin'er squeezed out a tear from her eye and said to Lu Lei, I'm fine. Lu Lei frowned. How could she be fine after falling so hard? Of course, he didn't believe that Lu Lei would fall when he was fine. He seemed to have seen Xiao Hong push her just now. Yin'er, how did you fall? Lu Lei asked with a guess in his heart. I fell down myself, Zhao Yin'er said, but she glanced at Xiao Hong. This feeling of wanting to cover up made Lu Lei even more certain that Xiao Hong pushed her. He turned to Xiao Hong coldly and said to her, Xiao Hong, how many more times are you going to play such vicious tricks? How did Yin'er offend you? You've harmed her time and time again. The first time, you framed her for pushing you into the river, causing Yin'er to be misunderstood and scolded. The second time, you spread the rumor that Yin'er seduced Lu San, and Yin'er was scolded even more severely by the villagers. If she hadn't clarified it later, who knows what her reputation would have become in the future. Now you pushed Yin'er. Just how vicious is your heart? Lu Lei naturally knew that Xiao Hong was targeting Zhao Yin'er because of him. Xiao Hong thought that the person he liked was Zhao Yin'er, so she kept targeting Zhao Yin'er. In that case, he was the one who had implicated Zhao Yin'er. Xiao Hong was taken aback by Lu Lei's sudden words. Her eyes instantly turned red. Was she such a woman in Lu Lei's eyes? Xiao Hong hurriedly said, Brother Lu, no, I didn't push her. Xiao Hong wasn't stupid. She understood that Zhao Yin'er had framed her. This B***TCH actually knew how to frame others. Xiao Hong had never been wronged like this before, so she was naturally indignant. Who else could it be but you? Are you saying that Yin'er is framing you? Big brother Lu, believe me. It was Zhao Yin'er who framed me. I didn't push her. Xiao Hong was a little anxious. After all, she liked Lu Lei. If Lu Lei misunderstood her as such a woman, Lu Lei probably wouldn't like her anymore. When Lu Lei's back was facing Xiao Hong, Zhao Yin'er revealed a smug smile to Xiao Hong, deliberately provoking Xiao Hong. As expected, Xiao Hong was so infuriated by Zhao Yin'er that she lost her rationality. She rushed to Zhao Yin'er and pointed at Zhao Yin'er's nose. B***TCH, you framed me. Why did you frame me? Zhao Yin'er pretended to be scared and hid behind him. She looked very scared. Little sister Xiao Hong, when did I frame you? You speak with your conscience. I said something about being cold to you just now. Zhao Yin'er's tone sounded very aggrieved. However, there was a flash of slyness and smugness in her eyes. Seeing Xiao Hong's flustered and exasperated look was really satisfying. She should have known that a woman like Xiao Hong didn't care about other things. She only cared about Lu Lei's attitude. If Lu Lei's impression of her was any worse, it would be worse than beating her up. After all, no woman wanted to leave a bad impression in front of the man she loved. Chapter 247. Big Brother Lu. Why don't you believe me? Believe Zhao Yin'er. I really didn't push her. She deliberately fell down in front of you to make you think that I pushed her. Zhao Yin'er, what are you thinking? Xiao Hong felt like she was going crazy. How could she be so pitiful to be targeted by Zhao Yin'er? And Zhao Yin'er really wasn't as soft and easy to bully as she thought. Enough. Lu Lei said coldly. Xiao Hong, I know better than you what kind of person Yin'er is. I hope you won't hurt Yin'er again. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you. Facing Lu Lei's coldness, Xiao Hong knew that Lu Lei didn't want to believe her at all. His heart was completely on Zhao Yin'er's side. Xiao Hong wasn't such a stupid woman. She knew that the more she didn't admit it, the more people would say that Zhao Yin'er framed her. Then, the more Lu Lei would side with Zhao Yin'er, the more he would hate her. So now, she could only retreat in order to advance. She didn't want to fall out with Lu Lei. Zhao Yin'er. Xiao Hong glared at Zhao Yin'er angrily. She gritted her teeth and then said to Lu Lei, Big brother Lu, I'm sorry. I was too agitated. Maybe I accidentally pushed Sister Yin'er. I really didn't mean to hurt her. Sister Yin'er is so nice. Why would I push her? Xiao Hong instantly became a pitiful white lotus again. Zhao Yin'er looked at Xiao Hong a few more times. It seemed that this woman was quite smart. She didn't force it. Knowing that Lu Lei didn't believe her, she softened and said that. Sure enough, Lu Lei's tightly furrowed brows relaxed a little. Lu Lei's emotions were quickly captured by Xiao Hong. Thinking that this method was feasible, Xiao Hong continued. Sister Yin'er, I really accidentally touched you. Can you forgive me? I'll be careful in the future. Lu Lei still somewhat believed that Xiao Hong really pushed her, but Xiao Hong's attitude made him feel that it was okay. Apologizing after bullying someone meant that he at least knew that he was in the wrong. Zhao Yun'er smiled coldly and said to Xiao Hong, "Little sister Xiao Hong must be joking. How could I blame you? After all, you were careless. Just be more careful in the future." There was a warning in Zhao Yun'er's words. If Xiao Hong dared to provoke her again, her acting skills wouldn't be any worse than hers. If worst came to worst, she would accompany her to the end. She didn't believe that she couldn't win against a white lotus. Xiao Hong pursed her lips. "Thank you, Sister Yun'er. I'll be careful next time." Xiao Hong looked at Lu Lei again. Seeing that Lu Lei's face was still cold, she sighed. She didn't know how Lu Lei would treat her in the future. She only hoped that this time, she wouldn't leave a bad impression in Lu Lei's heart. As for Zhao Yun'er, if she had the chance, she would definitely take revenge. "Big brother Lu, big sister Yun'er, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave," Xiao Hong said. Zhao Yun'er pretended not to hear, and ignored Xiao Hong. Lu Lei responded indifferently. His attitude was also very cold. Seeing that Xiao Hong had left, Lu Lei asked with concern, "Yun'er, how are you? Are your injuries serious?" "It's all my fault. If it weren't for me, Xiao Hong wouldn't have targeted you." Zhao Yun'er shook her head. "It's okay, brother Lei. I just fell. I'm not injured." "All right, why did you come here?" Chapter 248. Of course, this was only one of the reasons. Another reason was that she wanted to come over and see Zhao Yun'er. She would only feel comfortable if she could see Zhao Yun'er from time to time. "I don't need any help here," Zhao Yun'er said. What she said was the truth, and she didn't want to have too much to do with Lu Lei. There was a trace of disappointment in Lu Lei's eyes. "No. Brother Lu, aren't you busy these days?" What's there to be busy about? There aren't many fields at home, so I finished them in a short while. I went to the mountains a few more times these days, but my luck wasn't very good. I didn't bring anything back." "It's okay, brother Lei. Take it slow. It will be fine." Yes. Lu Lei nodded heavily. Only when he saved enough money would he have more ability to stand in front of Zhao Yun'er. Now that he didn't have the ability, he couldn't say a lot of things and couldn't guarantee it. The smell of cooked rice floated in the house. Zhao Yun'er thought that it was time to eat, but she didn't want to keep Lu Lei. It was even more embarrassing to drive him away. She looked at Lu Lei awkwardly and said to him, "Brother Lei, we have to eat? Do you want to stay and eat?" Zhao Yun'er was just being polite. Lu Lei waved his hand. "No, I'll go back and heat up the dishes myself. Yun'er, you guys eat." She wanted to eat, so he couldn't continue to stay. He had to leave. Looking at Lu Lei's back, Zhao Yun'er breathed a sigh of relief. She turned around and prepared to go into the house to move the table out. In the house, Mu Lianfeng retracted his gaze from the crack of the door and quickly lay down on the bed. Naturally, he saw the series of things that Zhao Yun'er did just now. Mu Lianfeng's mouth held a smile. He was more and more interested in Zhao Yun'er. It seemed that Zhao Yun'er was still a little different from what he knew. This woman was very interesting. She would occasionally play tricks, but in his eyes, he felt that she was abnormally cute. Sometimes it was good for women to be like this. He had seen too many innocent and harmless flowers that needed to be protected. He admired Zhao Yun'er even more. At least others wouldn't bully her too much. As soon as Zhao Yun'er entered the room, she saw Mu Lianfeng lying on the bed thoughtfully. She hurriedly moved the table out and ate in the courtyard later. Even if it was Chun Erwa, Zhao Yun'er still didn't want Mu Lianfeng to be seen by others. After moving the table out, Zhao Yun'er called the children to start eating. When the dishes were served, Chun Erwa's eyes were glued to them. How could there be such good dishes? He had never eaten anything like this before. "Come on, hurry up and eat. It won't taste good when it's cold," Zhao Yun'er said. The three children leaned over the table and didn't feel too restrained. At first, Chun Erwa was embarrassed. But seeing Daodu and Zhao Tianfu eating happily, he slowly let go and began to eat. The pheasant was even more delicious with mushrooms. Whether it was meat or mushrooms, it was so delicious that they wanted to swallow their tongues. Zhao Yun'er let the children eat first. She scooped a bowl of rice picked up some food, and brought it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng continued to lie on the bed to rest. After Zhao Yun'er came in, she immediately closed the door. Gongzi Mu, it's time to eat. Zhao Yun'er's clear voice sounded. Chapter 249. At this moment, only Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng were left in the room, and the atmosphere became ambiguous again. Zhao Yun'er knew that Mu Lianfeng still needed some time to recover from the injury on his hand, so she personally fed Mu Lianfeng. When Mu Lianfeng was in the Shixi estate, he didn't eat a lot of game. Moreover, the game prepared by the Shixi estate's chef wasn't even half as good as Zhao Yun'er's. This meal, Mu Lianfeng enjoyed it very much, and he only said that he was full after eating 2 big plates. After feeding Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun'er was about to go eat by herself, when Mu Lianfeng suddenly called out to Zhao Yun'er, "Miss Yun'er, what's wrong? Miss Yun'er, were you and Daodu often bullied in the village?" Mu Lianfeng suddenly asked. Zhao Yun'er felt that Mu Lianfeng's question was a little strange. After all, she didn't understand why he would ask such a question. "It's all right," Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched. Zhao Yun'er was pitiful in the past, but she wasn't. After she replaced the original owner, she wasn't as easy to bully as before. Did Daoda's father really pass away? Or did he leave? Why isn't he by your side? Daoda said that he hasn't seen him since he was young. Mu Lianfeng remembered that Zhao Yun'er had said that Daoda's father had passed away, but after observing for a while and hearing Daoda's words, he more or less understood. Daoda's father probably wasn't really dead, and this irresponsible man got Zhao Yun'er pregnant and then abandoned her. He didn't even care about his own son. He really looked down on this kind of man. "Why are you asking this, young Master Mu?" Zhao Yun'er replied. Zhao Yun'er's emotions could not be heard from her tone. I'm just asking." Mu Lianfeng pursed his lips and looked at Zhao Yun'er with a trace of heartache. It was only when he truly lived with Zhao Yun'er that he understood how difficult it was for Zhao Yun'er to raise a child alone. Not to mention the living conditions. This weirdo would come knocking on his door every 2 to 3 days. It was really tiring. In the end, Zhao Yun'er was still a woman. Without a man by her side, others would think that she was easy to bully. If she had a man by her side to protect her, she wouldn't have to suffer so much. Zhao Yun'er was silent for a moment. Then a bitter smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. "You may not believe it, but it's true. I don't know who Daoda's father is either." Mu Lianfeng was surprised for a moment. He knew that there must be something going on here. Zhao Yun'er didn't say anything, so he couldn't ask in detail. "Then, Miss Yun'er, have you ever thought of remarrying? If you remarry, Daoda will really have a father, and you and your son will have a guarantee for your lives," Mu Lianfeng continued. Zhao Yun'er felt that Mu Lianfeng's question was getting stranger and stranger. What did he mean by this? "Young Master Mu, what kind of man do you think I can find with my conditions? If I marry a worse man, wouldn't my life be ruined? I think it's pretty good now. With Daodu, as long as I work hard in the future, my life will definitely get better and better. Don't you think so, young Master Mu?" Zhao Yun'er said this to show her strength. Chapter 250. Mu Lianfeng also smiled at Zhao Yun'er and nodded, agreeing with Zhao Yun'er's words. He really wanted to tell Zhao Yun'er that he was actually willing to marry her and take good care of them. He didn't say this sentence because he wasn't sure. After all, he didn't have complete control over his marriage. If he agreed early and couldn't fulfill it in the end, he was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would be disappointed. The next day, Zhao Yun'er went to Yang City to deliver bullfrogs. This time, the quantity was even smaller. Yesterday, she brought Zhao Tianfu and Daodu up the mountain, so the 2 children didn't catch many bullfrogs. It was probably less than 5 kilograms. She didn't know if son Zhangquan would say anything if she sent it. But today she sent less bullfrogs. Tomorrow she should be able to send more over. Aunt Lu had already arranged for her son to go to a few nearby villages to give instructions. Today they would go to purchase them. In total, there should be a lot of bullfrogs. What surprised Zhao Yun'er was that when she went to Yang City today, Qin Hailan came again. It was really a little abnormal for her to enter the city for 2 consecutive days. This time, Qin Hailan also carried a basket on her back. There seemed to be something in it. It was covered with a piece of cloth, so Zhao Yin'er couldn't see anything. There was a sense of uneasiness in her heart. She felt that Qin Hailan came to Yang City for her. Zhao Yin'er couldn't find any evidence, and it wasn't convenient for her to question. She stared at Qin Hailan's basket for a while. Qin Hailan glared at Zhao Yin'er unhappily. "What are you staring at my basket for?" Qin Hailan's tone was tough, but a trace of guilt flashed in her eyes. "Can't I look around? Did he steal it from you or rob it from you?" Zhao Yin'er also replied unhappily. "Zhao Yin'er, don't be stubborn." Qin Hailan huffed. "I'm too lazy to argue with you." Zhao Yin'er rolled her eyes at Qin Hailan and looked away. When they reached Yang City, Zhao Yin'er got off the ox cart and went straight to the restaurant. He gave bullfrog to Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan looked at the things Zhao Yin'er sent over and couldn't help but sigh. "Miss Yin'er, the bullfrogs are selling better and better, but you're sending less and less bullfrogs. This is really making things difficult for me." They ordered so much every day. Even if they didn't ask Zhao Yin'er to send more, they couldn't possibly send less. "Shopkeeper, I'm sorry. I didn't deliver enough today. I'll definitely be able to send more tomorrow." Zhao Yin'er said somewhat apologetically. She could understand Sun Zhongquan's difficulties. If she could send more, she would definitely want to send more. After all, the more she gave, the more money she could earn. This thing was priced by weight. She wasn't so stupid that she didn't know how to earn money. Sun Zhongquan didn't know if Zhao Yin'er was telling the truth or just comforting words. He could only sigh and shake his head. "All right then. Miss Yin'er, I hope you can send more." Sun Zhongquan gave Zhao Yin'er the money, and Zhao Yin'er left the restaurant. Not long after Zhao Yin'er left, Qin Hailan strolled to the front of the restaurant. She wanted to go in, but was stopped by the restaurant's waiter. Qin Hailan was dressed in rags. It was obvious that she was someone who couldn't afford to spend money in the restaurant. The waiter wouldn't casually let people into such a high-class restaurant. Qin Hailan naturally didn't think of this situation, but she had an idea. She said to the waiter, "Little brother, Zhao Yin'er asked me to come. Do you know Zhao Yin'er?" Chapter 251. As waiters of the restaurant, they all understood how the business of the restaurant became so popular. If it weren't for Zhao Yin'er sending bullfrog over as the main dish of their restaurant, how could the business suddenly become so popular? "Little brother, Zhao Yin'er asked me to come over." Qin Hailan smiled embarrassedly. The restaurant waiter looked at Qin Hailan suspiciously and replied, "Yin'er just left. How could she ask you to come over? If you came over, shouldn't the two of you be together?" "This, little brother, wasn't I delayed by something? I have something to send over. Your shopkeeper will know when he sees it." The restaurant waiter didn't think too much. Anyway, it was fine to let this woman see the shopkeeper. So he said faintly, "Then come in. Follow behind me. Don't run around." "Got it." Qin Hailan followed the restaurant waiter and entered the restaurant. She had been staying in the countryside, so she didn't know much. It was the first time she came to such a luxurious place. She couldn't help but sigh. The rich people in this city were so good. They could even come to such a good place to eat. Naturally, this place was so luxurious. Zhao Yin'er came here. She probably made a lot of money here. But it didn't matter. When she did this business, there would be an endless amount of money waiting for her to earn in the future. The restaurant waiter brought Qin Hailan to see Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan glanced at the woman who didn't have any special features and asked faintly, "What are you here for?" "Shopkeeper, I want to do business with you," Qin Hailan said with a smile. Her smile seemed to be trying to curry favor with the shopkeeper. Sun Zhongquan didn't drive her away immediately this time. Instead, he listened to what Qin Hailan wanted to do. "Say it." "Shopkeeper, I want to sell you something. It's the same as what Zhao Yin'er sent over," Qin Hailan said, and quickly took out the thing in the basket. Then she put it in front of Sun Zhongquan. "Shopkeeper, this thing is called bullfrog, right? Take a look. Is it the same as what Zhao Yin'er sent over?" Sun Zhongquan glanced at it. It really was a bullfrog that had been peeled. It was the same one that Zhao Yin'er had sent over. Sun Zhongquan's heart was filled with joy. His restaurant lacks such things, so the more people gave him the better. How could he not accept it? Sun Zhongquan suppressed the excitement in his heart and calmly talked business with Qin Hailan, showing that he didn't want to buy it. This sister-in-law, your gift is indeed the same as Miss Yuner's gift. However, I have signed a contract with Miss Yuner beforehand. I will only accept gifts from her. Qin Hailan understood what Sun Zhongquan meant. It wasn't easy for her to come across a chance to make money. How could she let it go? Thus, she began to torment Sun Zhongquan. Shopkeeper, you see, although you've signed the document, you've accepted my things. If you don't say anything and I don't say anything, Zhao Yin'er won't know. So, how much did Zhao Yin'er give her? Just give me half of it. Qin Hailan lowered the price very much. She really didn't know the price that Sun Zhongquan gave to Zhao Yin'er. Sun Zhongquan listened and pondered for a moment. Lowering the price by half would save him a lot of costs. In addition, the amount that Zhao Yin'er sent over was not enough. All in all, he made a profit. Chapter 252. Qin Hailan was overjoyed and kept saying, "Manager, thank you. You're really a good man." Sun Zhongquan curled his lips and smiled meaningfully. This was because other restaurants didn't know the practice of bullfrogs. If Qin Hailan sent it to other restaurants would probably pay a higher price if they knew it was bullfrogs. Sun Zhongquan thought for a moment and said to Qin Hailan, "If you have any goods in the future, just send it to me. Don't go to other restaurants to ask. No one will buy it except me." Qin Hailan also thought carefully and believed Sun Zhongquan's words. This was not a good thing. There were a lot of bullfrogs in the countryside. If they could be sold everywhere, wouldn't they have been snatched up long ago? She guessed that every family in the village had gone to catch them. "Got it, manager. I'll definitely send it to you as soon as I have it." Qin Hailan said with a smile. Well, come with me. Let's settle the bill." Sun Zhongquan said. "Okay." Qin Hailan excitedly followed Sun Zhongquan's steps. Qin Hailan had a total of 12 caddies of bullfrogs left, so Sun Zhongquan settled the bill for 120 coins. When Sun Zhongquan handed the money to Qin Hailan was suddenly stunned. She counted and found that there were 120 coins in total. That was to say, the price of bullfrogs was still 20 coins per caddy. She had discounted half of the price, so there were 10 coins. She didn't expect that this thing, which no one in the countryside wanted, would be so expensive. It was unbelievable. It seemed that during this period Zhao Yin'er, that little bitch, had made a lot of money by selling bullfrogs. Fortunately, she was smart enough to dig out what Zhao Yin'er had done from little Sheba of her family. Although the price given to her by the restaurant was not as high as the price given to Zhao Yin'er, she could still make a lot of money. She would catch more bullfrogs later. With a few hundred coins in her account every day, she could make several taels of silver in a few months. How could there be such a way to earn money in the countryside? Working hard in the fields all year round. In the end, the harvest would probably not even amount to a few taels of silver. Qin Hailan happily accepted the money Sun Zhongquan handed over. She stuffed it into her pocket and left the restaurant. After getting so much money at once, Qin Hailan didn't want to treat herself unfairly. She hurried to the market and bought more things. Zhao Yin'er came out of the restaurant and went to the shops on the street. She looked around to see if there was anyone selling quilts. The blankets in the house were already very thin to begin with. She and Daodu couldn't even cover themselves with them. Mu Lianfeng was sleeping with them, so the blankets were even thinner. It was too cold at night, so she couldn't help but lean closer to Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yin'er was afraid that if she slept soundly tonight and woke up in Mu Lianfeng's arms the next day, it would be awkward. In ancient times, quilts were made of cotton balls. Generally, people who grew their own cotton at home could send their cotton to be processed and made into quilts for a processing fee. There were also ready-made quilts that were bought directly. Fortunately, the business in Yang City was prosperous, and there were all kinds of things. Quilts were also easy to buy. However, quilts were not sold in the new street, but in some shops in remote locations. Zhao Yin'er searched for a long time before she found it. After entering the shop, She found that the business was very quiet, and few people came. Chapter 253. Those who wanted to buy a quilt now were probably like Zhao Yin'er. Their families were in a hurry to use it. Also, on normal days, when the family held a wedding, the slightly wealthier families would buy a few new quilts for their daughter's dowry. Apart from winter, this was how the business of the quilt shop came about. After Zhao Yin'er entered the house, an old lady in her 50s or 60s came over. She went up to Zhao Yin'er with a smile and asked if she wanted to buy a quilt. "Granny, what's the price of your quilt?" Zhao Yin'er asked. The old lady chuckled and said, "Little girl, there are a total of 3 quilt shops in Yang City. Don't worry, my shop is the cheapest. If you don't believe me, you can go to the other 2 shops and ask for the price." As the old lady spoke, she brought Zhao Yin'er to look at her quilt. She pointed at the quilt and said to Zhao Yin'er, "This quilt is new. It's made from the cotton that was just harvested this year. It's warm. It's 22 copper coins per caddy. This one is made from last year's cotton. It's 20 copper coins per caddy. Miss, take a look. Do you want to buy this year's new quilt or last year's?" Zhao Yin'er stared at the quilt for a while. The quilt was made at a different time, but they were all new. The white quilt was obviously very warm. When Zhao Yin'er heard the old lady's words, she felt that she was doing business with integrity. After all, if she didn't say it out loud, who knew if it was made this year or last year? A caddy of quilt cost so much. There were both thick and thin quilts here. There were 5 caddies, 7 caddies, and 10 caddies. Zhao Yin'er planned to buy 3 quilts to bring back. 1 for the bottom, 1 for the top, and 1 for the top. Then, she would buy a thin one. When the weather became warmer, she could change out the thick quilt and cover the thin one. 7 caddies of quilts would be enough. 1 for the thick and 1 for the thin ones, which added up to a total of 22 caddies. "Granny, get me this year's new quilt. I want this, and this." Zhao Yin'er pointed at the quilt. The old lady smiled and said, Okay. I'll get it for you." The old lady folded the 3 quilts neatly and tied them together with a thick rope. "Miss, this is good. Can you carry it?" The old lady looked at Zhao Yin'er's thin and small body. She didn't look like someone who could carry things, so she asked with some concern. Zhao Yin'er lifted it a little. 22 kilograms was not too heavy for her. She could carry it with one hand. "I can carry it. Grandma, you don't have to worry about me." The old lady nodded. "That's good. Then, young lady, please settle the bill. This new quilt costs 22 copper coins per caddy. That's a total of 22 caddies, so it's 484 copper coins. Young lady, since you've bought 3 beds at once, I'll charge you 460 copper coins." It was a discount of 24 copper coins. This could be considered a great discount. Just as Zhao Yin'er was about to say thank you, a woman rushed out from the inner room and scolded the old lady. "You damned old lady. I just went to the courtyard to take a dump. I let you take a look. Is this how you do business? All of a sudden, we're short of 24 copper coins. How can we continue to run this shop? Do you really think that money comes from nowhere?" The woman scolded a bunch of unpleasant words. The old lady stood in the corner and didn't dare to speak. She was trembling with fear. Chapter 254. The woman's face was sallow and full of pockmarks. She looked disgusting. Plus, when she scolded her, her saliva flew everywhere. Zhao Yin'er had only seen such a person in novels. She didn't expect such a person to exist in real life. Zhao Yin'er looked at the old lady sympathetically. Everyone had to be filial. It was a little sad to meet an unfilial wife. Looking at the old lady's reaction, she was probably used to being bullied by this woman. After the woman scolded her, she heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the old lady didn't talk back. Otherwise, she would definitely scold her again. Zhao Yin'er stopped looking at her sympathetically and said to the woman indifferently, "Are you still selling this quilt or not?" The woman glanced at Zhao Yin'er and said, "I'm selling it, but it's still 484 copper coins. I can't give you such a huge discount." It was obvious that this woman was greedy. since the old lady was willing to give her a discount of 24 copper coins. That was on the basis that she could make money. Seeing that Zhao Yin'er didn't say anything, the woman said again, "In Yang City, there's no one selling it cheaper than us. If you don't want to buy it, forget it." The woman's arrogant attitude made Zhao Yin'er a little unhappy. What kind of person was this? How could business be like this? No wonder the shop's quilt was cheap, but not many people came. There must be a reason. The old lady couldn't help but say, "Kaifeng, the price we agreed on is changed just like that. That's not very good, is it? We have to be honest when doing business. Why don't we waive the 24 copper coins for this lady?" "You old hag, you still have the cheek to say that. You said the money, not me. When did I agree to waive the 24 copper coins? You blindly raised the price without my consent. When the family runs out of money, go out and earn it." The woman called Kaifeng by the old lady started scolding again. The old lady didn't say anything, but she looked at Zhao Yin'er apologetically. After all, he felt sorry for Zhao Yin'er for not honoring the agreed price. However, it was only 24 copper coins. Zhao Yin'er really didn't care about that much. If the old lady was scolded for such a small amount of money, Zhao Yin'er would feel bad in her heart. Thus he said to Kaifeng, "That's enough. I didn't say that I wouldn't give it to you." As Zhao Yin'er spoke, she took out 16 copper coins from the string of money and threw the rest to Kaifeng. Kaifeng counted carefully and said to Zhao Yin'er, "The money is right. You can take the things." Zhao Yin'er carried the quilt over her shoulder. Before she left, she snorted at Kaifeng and said, "Auntie, this is the first time I've seen you do business like this. No wonder you sell things at a low price, and your business is not good. Ordinary people are not willing to come here. Also, being filial to your elders is something that even children understand. You're so old, yet you don't do it. How interesting. However, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you have a son. Now that you treat me like this, your son and daughter-in-law will definitely learn from you in the future. When that time comes, you'll end up in the same miserable state. Sigh, I say, little girl, you're quite a busybody, aren't you? Don't you know how to talk?" Kaifeng said as she rolled up her sleeves, wanting to teach Zhao Yin'er a lesson. The old lady pulled Kaifeng back immediately. "Kaifeng, don't be impulsive." Chapter 255. She hoped that she would not encounter such things in the future. Otherwise, she would probably want to meddle in it again. Zhao Yin'er went to the market to buy some meat and vegetables. The vegetables at home had not grown yet. She could not keep eating other people's vegetables. The cheapest vegetables she bought in Yang City only cost 1 copper coin. It was still very cost-effective. After buying the vegetables, Zhao Yin'er was ready to go back. Suddenly, there was a crowd in front of her. Zhao Yin'er saw that it was still early, so she went over with the mentality of watching a show. Squeezing into the crowd, she saw a man in his 20s flirting with a girl. The girl was only in her teens. She looked very delicate and pretty. Beside the girl was an old man. He looked very sick. There were a few attendants behind the man. Judging from his clothes, he should be relatively rich. But his appearance was really a little indescribable. He had a face full of pockmarks. His eyes were so small that they could not be seen. He also had a mouth full of buck teeth. His body was thin and short. At first glance, he looked very ugly. Zhao Yin'er asked the people who were watching the show at the side. She asked, "What happened?" "Sigh. I heard that this old man lost money in gambling. Then he owed this young master 50 taels of silver. Now that he can't change the money, the other party wants to capture the old man's daughter and use her to repay the debt." Zhao Yin'er nodded. The legal system in ancient times was not as perfect as the current one. Generally, when one owed money, it was very normal to use the family's children to repay the debt. So it was best not to get involved in gambling. Otherwise, it was very likely that the family would be ruined. This old man looked pitiful, but also hateful. If it were not for his actions back then, his daughter would not be like this. The man's subordinates lifted the girl up and looked like they were going to drag her away. The girl cried like an apricot flower in the rain. She looked very pitiful as she shouted at the old man on the ground. "Father, father, save me." The old man was so anxious that he began to cry. He said to the man, "Young Master Meng, when did I owe you 50 taels of silver? This old man has never gambled for so many years." "I've never gambled. I just wanted to live a good life with my little Feng. But this young Master Meng took a fancy to my little Feng and wanted to buy her as a concubine. I didn't agree. After all, I only have one daughter. No matter what, I can't let her suffer such grievances in the future. That's why Lord Meng framed me for losing 50 taels of silver in his bank." Saying that, the old man sobbed. He wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes and continued, "Everyone, please help me. I don't want my daughter to be ruined like this." After the old man finished speaking, the crowd began to discuss. Some people who knew the old man said, "Uncle Chun is a very honest man. I've never seen him gamble before. It seems that this matter is really strange. Does that mean that young Master Meng used this as an excuse to steal Uncle Chun's daughter? Right? Uncle Chun is so pitiful. Why don't we help him?" Chapter 256. That's true. If we offend young Master Meng, we won't be able to survive in Yang City anymore. Many people sympathized with Uncle Chun, but facing young Master Meng, they were afraid of causing trouble for themselves, so they didn't go forward. Young Master Meng's subordinate walked up to Uncle Chun and grabbed him by the collar. "You old bastard, what nonsense are you talking about? Our young master said that you owe 50 taels of silver, so you owe 50 taels of silver." Uncle Chun's thin and weak body couldn't compare to those trained subordinates. Zhao Yin'er was instantly enraged. Damn it, this was robbing a woman on the street. Originally, she was afraid of causing trouble and didn't want to interfere, but she couldn't control her impulse. She was a police officer and had been a police officer for many years. Some habits weren't easy to change. In her eyes, this was no different from the trouble in the 21st century. If she didn't stop it, she was afraid that someone would die. Zhao Yin'er stood up and grabbed Meng Gongzi's subordinate's hand. With a backhand pull, she threw him away. She threw him away and saved Uncle Chun. Zhao Yin'er pulled Chunbo down. With her skills, she thought about it. Meng Gongzi's men didn't seem to be easy to deal with. If several people beat her, she estimated that she wouldn't be able to hold on. Young Master Meng's attention was attracted by the person who suddenly appeared. He saw Zhao Yin'er's skills just now. It was rare for a woman to be so powerful. Moreover, her movements were exceptionally cool. When he looked at Zhao Yin'er's face, she was also a delicate and pretty girl. She looked even prettier than Uncle Chen's daughter. Young Master Meng touched his chin and was instantly interested in Zhao Yin'er. Originally, a few subordinates wanted to go forward and grab Zhao Yin'er, but they were stopped by young Master Meng. "Don't do anything. Stand there obediently. This young master hasn't said anything yet. If you scare the little girl, you'll suffer." Young Master Meng scolded his subordinates. "Yes, master." After reprimanding his subordinates, young Master Meng smiled at Zhao Yin'er and asked, "Young lady, what are you doing here?" Contrary to Zhao Yin'er's expectations, this young Master Meng was actually very polite to her. Frowning, Zhao Yin'er said coldly, "Of course I couldn't stand it anymore. That's why I came over to ask. Why are you bullying people like this? Do you think you can steal someone else's daughter just because you're rich and powerful?" "Young lady, what you're saying is wrong. What do you mean that I'm relying on my wealth and power to snatch someone else's daughter? That's because this old man owes me 50 taels of silver. Now that he doesn't have the money to pay it back, isn't it right to compensate for his daughter?" Young Master Meng raised his eyebrows and patiently explained to Zhao Yin'er. "You said that he owes you 50 taels of silver, so he owes you 50 taels of silver? Everything requires evidence. If you can take out the documents in front of everyone, you can naturally take this person away," Zhao Yin'er said. Young Master Meng smiled. His smile was somewhat despicable. He carefully looked at Zhao Yin'er. So many people didn't stand up for him, but this woman did. Her words were clear and organized. She was really an interesting person. Chapter 257. Go back with him to take a look? Zhao Yin'er was not stupid. How could she be willing to do that? If she really went, who knew what kind of danger would be waiting for her? Why aren't you saying anything? Are you unwilling? I've shown you the evidence, but you don't even want to look at it. What else can I say? Young Master Meng, you have money and power. You can make a dead person alive. What else can I say? However, please be magnanimous and let go of the innocent girl. You're so rich. What kind of girl can't you buy with money? You don't have to hold on to her and not let her go, right? Zhao Yun'er could only persuade from another angle. She knew in her heart that if he really needed evidence, this young Master Meng could also forge one. Young Master Meng was originally interested in Uncle Chen's daughter. Now that he saw Uncle Chen's daughter crying, his interest immediately disappeared. There were many such women in his family. If he took them back, he would probably be annoyed in the end. On the contrary, Zhao Yun'er was very interesting. If he married her as a concubine, it should be something special. Young Master Meng smiled and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Since you said so, then we'll do as you say." As young Master Meng spoke, he called his subordinates to release Feng, who was trapped. Zhao Yun'er was slightly surprised for a moment. She felt strange in her heart. This man was so easy to talk to? A sense of conspiracy emerged in Zhao Yun'er's heart. Feng jumped in front of Uncle Chen and began to cry in Uncle Chen's arms. "Father, Feng, don't be afraid. Father is here." Uncle Chen patted Feng's back. Young Master Meng came in front of Zhao Yun'er and said with a smile, "Young Master, are you satisfied with this?" Zhao Yun'er looked at young Master Meng suspiciously and said faintly, "You won't go back and continue to make trouble for them, right?" "Young Master, this young master will definitely not go back on his words. If I let her go, I'll let her go. How will I have the time to go again in the future?" Zhao Yun'er looked at young Master Meng's expression and felt that he wasn't lying. However, what Zhao Yun'er could not understand was why things had changed so quickly. She had come all the way here to snatch him away, and all she did was say a few words, and he was going to let him go? "Thank you, young Master Meng." Uncle Chen took Feng's hand and thanked young Master Meng. Now that he had said that he would let them go, it would be too late if they didn't leave now. Thinking about it, they couldn't stay in Sun City any longer. This time they would pack up and leave. Even if young Master Meng wanted to snatch her away, he wouldn't be able to find them. After the father and daughter left, Zhao Yun'er breathed a sigh of relief. Now she was sure that there was no problem. Zhao Yun'er also intended to leave, but was stopped by young Master Meng. Zhao Yun'er frowned warily and asked, "What do you want?" "Little girl, I've done as you said and let him go. Can't we have a little chat?" Zhao Yun'er retorted in annoyance. "Talk about what? What do we have to talk about?" Zhao Yun'er's cold and slightly arrogant personality made young Master Meng like her even more. His desire to conquer Zhao Yun'er also grew stronger. Naturally, young Master Meng knew that he couldn't force a woman like Zhao Yun'er. She was very stubborn. If he forced her, he was afraid that Zhao Yun'er might even commit suicide. If she died, there wouldn't be any meaning. Chapter 258. Zhao Yun'er snorted coldly in her heart. He was not a bad person. Would she believe him? "Young Master Meng, that's just how I am. Don't treat me like an outsider. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." Zhao Yun'er turned around. Young Master Meng knew that Zhao Yun'er was most likely going to ignore him, and he could not stop her. If he wanted to conquer this woman, he would have to take his time. Anyway, he had plenty of time. "Miss, before you leave, can you tell me your name? We're not familiar with each other, so it's not convenient for me to tell you." Zhao Yun'er said arrogantly and turned around. She only heaved a sigh of relief when she was far away. Fortunately, young Master Meng did not follow her. When she returned to the village, it was close to noon. Zhao Yun'er realized that Liang Jinxiao had come over. Her heart could not help but tighten. Did Liang Jinxiao enter her house? If he entered the house, wouldn't he see Mu Lianfeng in her house? Zhao Yun'er braced herself and walked over. Liang Jinxiao and a few other children were sitting on a big rock in the courtyard. Dao was snuggling in Liang Jinxiao's arms. "Mother, why are you here?" Zhao Yun'er walked over and asked. "Nothing big. We're having a wedding in 2 days. Your grandfather asked me to come over and inform you. You can attend the wedding then." Zhao Yin'er was curious. Mother, is there a wedding in our old Zhao family? They're having a wedding? Liang Jinxiao nodded and said, It's your eldest cousin brother. Zhao Tianlong? Now that he was married, what other joyous occasion was there to celebrate? Liang Jinxiao then explained, Your eldest cousin brother has fought for our old Zhao family this time. He was selected by the academy and will be sent to the capital to further his studies in half a month. I have an 80% chance of becoming a high scholar in this year's imperial examinations. The study that Liang Jinxiao mentioned was a policy of Yangqing County. In order to nurture talents, Yangqing County would hold an advanced study every year. A few talents would be selected from all the academies in Yangqing County and sent to the capital. They would find the best teachers there and undergo a few months of intensive training before the examination. Normally, there would be a limited number of places in the academies. Most academies might not even be able to accommodate one person. However, once selected and trained in the capital, the chances of becoming a high scholar would be greatly increased. Many people in Sun City had passed the imperial examination and become a high scholar through this round of advanced studies. Then, they rose through the ranks and made a fortune. Who would have thought that Zhao Tianlong would have some ability? Come to think of it, she had never seen Zhao Tianlong with her own eyes after coming to this world for so long. All right, mother, I'll go to the wedding banquet. Liang Jinxiao nodded and then asked about Zhao Yin'er's situation. He only relaxed after confirming that Zhao Yin'er's family was doing well. Oh right, Yin'er, it's a good thing that your eldest cousin brother is studying. The government will pay for part of the expenses, but you have to pay for it too. You have to prepare at least 20 taels of silver for your eldest cousin brother when the time comes. Now that he has to study for Tianfu, the family is in a mess. So the farm work at home is almost done. Your father is preparing to go to Sun City with Tianan to find some odd jobs. Mother, won't it be too tiring? How old was Zhao Tianan? He was still a child. How could he do so much work? It's okay. If he stays at home, the chores at home will be too tiring. Why don't he go to Sun City to work? He can even keep the other families in check. Chapter 259. She also felt that it was good to go out. In old Zhao's house, the third branch had done the most work. Liang Jinxiao relaxed for a while, then got up and left. After Liang Jinxiao walked away, she didn't mention Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yin'er breathed a sigh of relief. Zhao Yin'er asked the two children, Didn't Grandma go into the house? Daodu raised his little face and said sweetly to Zhao Yin, Mom, Grandma was going to go in, but Daodu stopped her. Daodu knows that even Grandma can't see Daddy. Daodu was already used to calling Mu Lianfeng Daddy. Zhao Yin'er touched Daodu's head and nodded. Daodu is the best. Hee, let's go in. Zhao Yin'er held the two children's hands and went in. Mu Lianfeng was lying on the bed. As soon as he saw Zhao Yin'er, there was a smile in his eyes. Yin'er, why do I feel like I've been hidden in a house? Mu Lianfeng's tone was a little flirtatious. Mr. Mu, you're considered a girl. But my shabby house is not a house. Your analogy is a little inappropriate. Seeing Zhao Yin'er's serious tone, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but smile. Yin'er, why are you so serious? I'm just joking. Zhao Yin'er found that her thoughts had completely caught up with Mu Lianfeng's rhythm. After lunch and a short rest, Zhao Yin'er took the two children to catch bullfrogs in the field. She wanted to save more money now. After hearing what Mu Lianfeng said today, she thought of her shabby house and really needed to build a new one. She didn't have the ability to pay dozens of taels of silver now. These days, there were fewer and fewer children helping to catch bullfrogs. Zhao Yin'er found that these children didn't help her catch bullfrogs, but they caught them themselves. The field was only so big. Zhao Yin'er still bumped into Qin Hailan. Qin Hailan also took Gooden to catch bullfrogs, and the children directly gave the bullfrogs to Qin Hailan. Looking at the bullfrogs in Qin Hailan's basket, they probably weighed 20 to 30 kilograms. Zhao Yin'er's brows couldn't help but twist. This was already very obvious. It was most likely that Qin Hailan got the information about her catching bullfrog from Gooden's mouth. But if Qin Hailan got her hands on the bullfrog, where did she sell it to? Seeing Zhao Yin'er coming over, Qin Hailan still caught the bullfrogs openly without any guilt. "Hey, sister-in-law, what are you catching?" asked Zhao Yin'er. Qin Hailan glanced at Zhao Yin'er and snorted. "Don't you know what I'm catching? Why do you ask when you already know the answer?" Zhao Yin'er curved her lips. "I just don't know how you know how to catch them. Did you learn from me?" Zhao Yin'er's words made Qin Hailan a little flustered and exasperated. "Learn from you? Why can't I catch bullfrogs when you catch them? Do they belong to your family?" "No, but you know clearly what you've done wrong. Don't think of the same way when you see others making money. It won't be good if something bad happens." "Zhao Yin'er, are you threatening me?" "No, it's just a reminder. Let's go, Gooden. You're so crazy. I don't know what you're talking about." Qin Hailan said angrily and pulled Gooden away. Chapter 260. In the end, Zhao Yin'er wouldn't blame a child. Gooden was probably scared by Qin Hailan, which was why he said it out loud. Zhao Yin'er was currently curious about who Qin Hailan sold the bullfrogs to. Sun Zhongquan's restaurant relied on the bullfrogs to make the restaurant's business flourish. Other restaurants were envious and might imitate him. Therefore, it wasn't impossible for Qin Hailan to sell these bullfrogs to other restaurants. Zhao Yin'er sighed. Forget it. When the boat reached the bridge head, everything would be fine. It was useless for her to worry about this and that now. In the afternoon, Auntie Lu sent the bullfrogs over. The first time, there weren't many of them. Many people probably weren't sure if they would be paid for catching these things. There were a total of 60 caddies. To Zhao Yin'er, this was already not bad. 60 caddies. If the two families split them equally, it would be 600 copper coins. Zhao Yin'er had been busy until the evening. Only then did she finish peeling these bullfrogs. Among the 60 caddy bullfrogs that were sent over, there were also a few toads that were thrown out by Zhao Yin'er. It wasn't that toads couldn't be eaten. The skin of this thing was poisonous. If it wasn't handled properly, it was very likely that it would leave behind toxins. Eating it into the stomach might lead to poisoning. Zhao Yin'er was too lazy to take that risk. She didn't care about earning a little more money. After dinner, it was already late at night. It was probably 7 or 8 o'clock. In the 21st century, it might not be considered late. In ancient times, it was rare to eat so late. Zhao Tianfu saw that it was late, so he went back early. He would eat at old Zhao's house tonight. At night, after lighting a lamp, Zhao Yin'er placed the dishes on the table and ate with Daodu and Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng's heart ached when he saw how tired Zhao Yin'er was. He asked, "Miss Yin'er, my injuries will probably heal in about 10 days. When that time comes, are you willing to live with me in Yang City with Daodu?" It was not that they had to live in the Shitzi estate. Since he had money, he could buy a courtyard for Zhao Yin'er and arrange for some servants to live there. This would allow the mother and son to live comfortably. "Sun City? Live with you?" Zhao Yin'er asked with uncertainty. No, you and I will arrange accommodation for Miss Yin'er and you. You don't have to live with me." Mu Lianfeng hurriedly explained, afraid that Zhao Yin'er would misunderstand. Zhao Yin'er said, "Oh, we don't have the money to buy a house in Yang City. Actually, it's not bad to live in the countryside." If they went to Yang City, Daodu would probably not have any friends to accompany him. In addition to the strange things in the village, Zhao Yin'er also liked this kind of rural and pastoral life. "It's okay, Miss Yin'er. I can buy everything for you. I will arrange everything for you." Zhao Yin'er chuckled. "Young Master Mu, you can't do this. If I didn't know better, I would think that you have a mistress outside. I don't want to be misunderstood." Zhao Yin'er's words made Mu Lianfeng feel a little embarrassed, and his face turned slightly red. Raising Zhao Yin'er as a mistress? How could that be possible? If he really got together with Zhao Yin'er, he would naturally marry her openly. "Young Master Mu, Daodu and I are doing well in the countryside. You don't have to worry about us," Zhao Yin'er said again. She understood that Mu Lianfeng was just concerned about her. However, she had hands and feet. Mu Lianfeng had helped her so much previously. She did not want to continue receiving favors for no reason. Chapter 261. Early the next morning, Zhao Yin carried a basket full of bullfrogs to Yang City. Including the ones she caught herself, it was a total of 70 caddies. Zhao Yin discussed it with Auntie Lu. She wouldn't get a share of the money from selling the bullfrogs this time. She still had 600 copper coins. With the money she earned from selling the bullfrogs today, it was just enough to buy a little donkey. Sun Zhongquan didn't expect that Zhao Yin would really send over a lot of bullfrogs today. Although there were a lot of them, Sun Zhongquan had no reason not to accept them. In any case, these things sold well. No matter how many restaurants he bought, he would be able to sell them. After Sun Zhongquan settled the bill for Zhao Yin went straight to the market and began to choose a donkey. In the donkey market, there were also horses, mules, and cows for sale. They were all tools used for transportation or transporting goods. Generally, only rich people would buy horses. As for the mule and donkey, people like Zhao Yin will think about it. The cows that are sold are relatively small. She will buy a calf and raise it. When the calf grows up, it can be used to plow the field, pull goods, and so on. There were more shops selling things. Zhao Yin began to slowly choose. After comparing, the last shop gave her the same price as the others. However, they gave her a wooden cart that could be pulled by a donkey. The cart could probably seat 3 or 4 people. It wasn't big, but it could be used to carry goods. It was a total of 1 or 260 copper coins. When Zhao Yin returned, she drove her little donkey. It was much more convenient and faster than old father Hu's ox cart. It was also easier to feed the donkey. She just needed to feed it some grass. However, the donkey wasn't big. She still had to take good care of it later. It was a little small now, so she couldn't carry heavy goods for him. She had to wait until it was a little bigger, before she could carry more important things. Zhao Yin's little donkey was a pity. When she arrived at the village, many people came over to join in the fun. They stared at her donkey for a while. "Yinner girl, you've really grown up. You even bought a little donkey." "That's right. No one in the village has ever bought it. It must be worth a lot of money, right?" "Of course it was before. None of us can afford it. In the future, it will be much more convenient to have a donkey in Shangyang City or town." The villagers surrounded Zhao Yin's donkey, which made Zhao Yin speechless. Although the villagers couldn't afford much of it, it didn't mean that it was rare. Most likely, they were curious as to how a poor person like her could afford it. The donkey was pitiful. It was in an unfamiliar environment and had to be surrounded. It was clearly afraid of such words. "Yinner girl, it seems that if you go to the city in the future, you can bring a few of us along." A woman came up to Zhao Yin with a smile. It was obvious that she wanted to get closer to Zhao Yin. The next time Zhao Yin went to the city, she could really bring her along. "That's right. Yinner girl is a good person. If it's on the way, I'll definitely bring her along." A chubby woman also came up and said. Zhao Yin glanced at the fat on the fat woman's body and thought that if she were to bring her along, she would break their family's donkey. These people really knew how to take advantage of others. They were all shameless. Chapter 262. The moment they heard Zhao Yin say that they wanted to collect money, these people were instantly displeased. "Yin lass, we just want you to bring us along. If we give you money, is it still convenient? You can't be so stingy that you're going to argue with us villagers over 3 copper coins, right?" Zhao Yin only felt that these people were a little funny. They were really thick-skinned to a certain extent. That was why they had the nerve to say anything. Zhao Yin curled the corners of her lips and said with a smile, "Auntie, you're wrong. I spent money to buy this little donkey. How can it be free to carry people? Just like when you go to Yang City, can old man whose ox cart give you a free ride?" These women could not refute Zhao Yin's words. It was not that easy to take advantage of others for free. Thus, one by one, they snorted softly. "Stingy? Isn't it just a little donkey? Who wants it?" "That's right. Who wants it?" Zhao Yin laughed coldly in her heart. It was best if they didn't want it. She treasured her little donkey. After driving the little donkey home, Daodu and Zhao Tianfu ran over excitedly and stared at the little donkey. "Mother, what is this?" "This is a donkey. Zhao Yin'er explained. Mother, Dowda has never seen one before. Dowda's eyes were filled with curiosity. It was obvious that he was very happy. Zhao Yin'er carried the two children onto the cart and let the little donkey wander around the house a few times. The two children were even happier. Children were like this. They were always full of curiosity when it came to new things. When Zhao Yin'er stopped, the two children still reluctantly got off the wooden cart. With a donkey, it would be much more convenient. If there was a chance in the future, she would take the two children out to take a look and let them know what Yang City was like. Mother, can Dowda touch it? Sure, but be careful, it might kick you. Oh, Dowda, be careful. Dowda touched the donkey's nose with his little hand. The donkey brayed twice and raised its head. Clearly, it didn't want Dowda to touch it. The donkey wasn't familiar with her family yet, so it was normal for it to resist. Zhao Yin'er stopped Dowda from touching her. Zhao Yin'er untied the wooden cart on the donkey and led the donkey into the wooden shed. The wooden shed wasn't big, and Lu Lei had helped build it in the past. Usually there would be some wood in the shed, so it was just right for a donkey. Mother, what does it eat? Should we give it the same food as Little Black for lunch? Let's prepare a bowl for it too. Zhao Yin'er listened to Dowda's soft and cute words and was amused by Dowda. After the donkey came, it seemed like Little Black's status in the family would be affected. Zhao Yin'er shook her head and said to Dowda, Little Mao and Little Black eat different things. Little Mao can eat grass. Dowda can get some grass for it to eat. The donkey brayed again when it heard Zhao Yin'er's words. How could this woman casually give it a name? Little Mao. Wasn't it too old-fashioned? Okay, Mother. Then Dowda and Little Uncle will go get some grass for us. Dowda ran off like a wisp of smoke. Not long after, he came back with a bunch of grass. Chapter 263. Dowda walked over to the donkey with the grass in his hand. The donkey, which was originally very arrogant and cold, suddenly changed its attitude. It stretched out its mouth and rubbed against Dowda's side. It stared at the grass in Dowda's hand, and its black eyes lit up. Dowda didn't mind the donkey's arrogance from before. Instead, he put the grass in his hand next to the donkey's mouth and motioned for it to eat. The donkey curled its tongue, and soon, all the grass in Dowda's hand was in its mouth. Dowda chuckled as he fed the donkey. When the donkey was full, Dowda didn't have much of a reaction when he petted it again. Xiao Mao is full, Zhao Yin'er said. It was true that even animals understood the principle of one must be soft-mouthed after receiving gifts from others. Mother, Xiao Mao isn't resisting anymore. Dowda said excitedly to Zhao Yin'er. Of course, it ate the grass you picked. Hee. Then Dowda will pick more grass for Xiao Mao in the future. Little He was a little jealous when he saw Dowda's attitude towards Xiao Mao. He ran over with his meatball-like body and barked at Xiao Mao. Woof woof woof, Little He, what's wrong with you? Why are you barking at Xiao Mao? You're all a part of the family in the future. You have to get along well. Dowda squatted down and patted Xiao Mao's head. Zhao Yin'er was amused by Dowda's adorable look. She felt very warm at this moment. Little He looked up at Dowda, but still barked a few times at Xiao Mao. The small puppy bared its teeth and pretended to be fierce. It was a little comical. Xiao Mao didn't care about such a big puppy's barks at all. He glanced at Xiao He indifferently and let out a soft snort as a response. Zhao Yin'er was a little suspicious when she saw Xiao Mao's arrogant look. Was this little donkey a spirit? Woof woof woof, Little He felt that he was being looked down upon. He angrily rushed in front of Xiao Mao and wanted to bite it. Unfortunately, before he could get close to Xiao Mao kicked him away. It seemed that Little He's kick wasn't light. Dowda quickly picked Little He up and rubbed him in his arms. Little He, are you okay? Because of the pain, Little He whimpered in Dowda's arms after being asked by Dowda. Zhao Yun's eyes. She didn't know whether to laugh or not. Speaking of which, Blackie really didn't know his limits. Such a small puppy fighting against such a big donkey. Wasn't that just courting death? At the very least, he had to wait until it was as big as its mother. Xiao Mao was really polite. It only kicked Little He once. If it wasn't polite, it could have stomped Little He to death. Dowda let out a sigh, shook his head and reprimanded. Little Black, How can you be like this? You and Xiao Mao will be a family in the future. You have to love each other, okay? And Xiao Mao, little He is still young. Don't bully it too much. Little He continued to woof woof. Zhao Yiner's mouth evoked a touch of warmth. Such a Daodu is really cute. Zhao Yiner didn't rest for long before Liang Jinxiao ran over. Yiner. Chapter 264. Yiner, let's go. Liang Jinxiao pulled Zhao Yin, and was about to leave. Zhao Yiner looked puzzled. Go. Mother, where are we going? Liang Jinxiao took a deep breath. He was confused when he was anxious, and did not explain clearly what was going on. Hence, he stopped in his tracks. Yiner, someone drove a carriage to old Zhao's house today. He even brought a lot of things over. He said that they were for you. So your grandfather asked me to come over and call you, Liang Jinxiao explained. She was puzzled. Where did this person come from? And bring so many good things to her daughter. Her daughter usually did not come into contact with any rich people. Zhao Yin was also puzzled when she heard Liang Jinxiao's words. Mother, what's going on? Who is here? Zhao Yiner asked. Liang Jinxiao shook his head. I don't know either. Since he is here to bring you things, I thought you knew. She knew nothing. However, apart from curiosity, she also felt a little uneasy. After all, there was no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Who knew what the other party's purpose was? Zhao Yiner followed Liang Jinxiao to old Zhao's house. Just as Liang Jinxiao said, there was a luxurious carriage parked in the courtyard of old Zhao's house. Such a luxurious carriage was very eye-catching in the village. There were already many people at the entrance of old Zhao's house, who wanted to see what was going on. Then, the women gathered together and began to chatter non-stop. The people of old Zhao's house were all in the courtyard, very warmly receiving the person who brought the things over. Zhao Yiner walked over to take a look. It was a man in his 20s. She had never seen him before, so she did not recognize him at all. Seeing Zhao Yiner coming over, Hua Chunhua showed a rare good attitude. She greeted Zhao Yiner with a smile and said, Girl Yiner, come here, come here. Zhao Yiner frowned. She was disgusted by Hua Chunhua's face. She was so fake. Li Chuiying and Zhao Xinhui, who used to dislike Zhao Yiner, also greeted Zhao Yiner with a smile. What the hell are they doing? Zhao Yiner still walked over. She didn't care what tricks they were playing. After all, she wasn't someone to be trifled with. Hua Chunhua smiled and held Zhao Yiner's hand. She introduced her to the man in his 20s. Sir, this is our family's Yiner. Zhao Yiner pulled her hand away from Hua Chunhua's with some disgust, and said sarcastically to Hua Chunhua, Grandmother, you are much more enthusiastic today. Hua Chunhua smiled awkwardly. Yiner, look at what you're saying. It's as if I'm not treating you well. You're my biological granddaughter. What's wrong with me being close to you? Zhao Yiner didn't know where Hua Chunhua got the cheek to say such words. Didn't she feel disgusted? That's enough, grandmother. Don't be hypocritical. Aren't you just pretending in front of this gentleman? Chapter 265. That's right, Yiner, we're family. You're also part of our family. We'll treat you well in the future. Li Chuiying said hypocritically, just like Hua Chunhua. Zhao Yiner's lips curled into a mocking smile. Second aunt, what are you saying? We've already split up. Yet you're trying to make us so close. In the past, you wouldn't even let me come over when I came over to this courtyard. You little girl. Why are you always so calculative about the past? Li Chuiying smiled embarrassedly, feeling like she had been slapped in the face. However, she didn't bicker with Zhao Yiner. When the man in his 20s saw Zhao Yiner, he said respectfully, Miss Yiner, my family's young master asked me to deliver these things to you. He hopes that you can accept them. Zhao Yiner glanced at the things in the carriage. There were some cloth, gold, silver, jewelry, and some more precious food, such as bird's nest and glossy Ganoderma. The things in the carriage were all treasures. They were worth a lot of money. It was obvious that he was a rich man. After Zhao Yiner took a look, she didn't have any greed. No matter how good the things were, they didn't belong to her. She couldn't accept things that were given to her for free. What she needed to figure out now was who sent these things. Young master. Who is your family's young master? Miss Yin my family's young master's surname is Meng. You've met him before. When the man said young master Meng, Zhao Yin'er immediately knew who he was. The young master Meng this man mentioned was probably the ugly man she bumped into in Yang City that day. Heavens, could it be that this man had his eyes on her? He even dug out her home address. When she heard that it was young master Meng who gave these things, Zhao Yin'er couldn't accept them. This young master Meng obviously didn't have any good intentions. Thus, Zhao Yin'er refused. Young master, I'm sorry, but please go back and tell your young master that I cannot accept these things from him. Also, tell him not to have any thoughts about me. After Zhao Yin'er finished speaking, the other members of old Zhao's family suddenly became anxious, especially Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying. The two of them came up to persuade her. Yin'er girl, it wasn't easy for them to come all the way here to give you a present. Just accept it. That's right. It's their good intentions. They even sent someone to give old Zhao's family so many good things. It shows that they're sincere. Don't waste their painstaking efforts. If you return it this time, they might send it back next time. Zhao Yin'er looked at Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying's faces. What they said sounded nice, but were they really thinking about her? They were just eyeing other people's good things. Zhao Yin'er completely ignored Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying's words and continued to say to the man, Young master, please take your things back. The man frowned slightly, as if he didn't expect this to happen. Miss Yin'er, my young master instructed me to send these things to you. If you don't accept them, I can't go back and report back. The man started to act pitiful. Zhao Yin'er said indifferently, That's your problem. Anyway, I won't accept these things. After Zhao Yin'er finished speaking, she didn't want to continue arguing with these people. She turned her back and left old Zhao's courtyard. Is there something wrong with this damn girl's head? Hu Chunhua scolded angrily. Chapter 266. That's right. She actually rejected all the good stuff that was given to her for free. She must have been kicked in the head by a donkey. Li Chuiying was also very angry. After all, the old Zhao family hadn't separated yet. If Zhao Yin'er really got these things and gave them to Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao, she would also enjoy a good life. Zhao Yin'er had left, but Hu Chunhua couldn't bear to let them take so many good things back. The man who sent the things over was also a little anxious. He didn't expect that a country girl wouldn't be moved by so many gold, silver, and jewelry. If he sent the things back, his master would scold him for being useless. He couldn't even handle such a small matter. Auntie, can you persuade Miss Yin'er again? The man asked Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua pursed her lips and said, Young master, my granddaughter is very stubborn. It will probably take some time to persuade her. Young master, I'm afraid you can't wait. How about this? Why don't you leave the things here? I'll persuade her again. I think she won't be able to accept it for the time being. The man thought about it and felt that Hu Chunhua was right. Anyway, his master asked him to send the things to Zhao Yin'er's house. He didn't say that Zhao Yin'er had to accept them. Zhao Yin'er's parents and grandparents could accept them on her behalf. Then I'll have to trouble you, auntie. I'll have to explain it to my master when I go back. The man said gratefully to Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua didn't mind the trouble at all. She was more than happy to do it. Therefore, the whole family moved out and excitedly moved all the good things out of the carriage. Other than the gold, silver, jewelry, silk, satin, bird's nest, glossy Ganoderma, and other things that the country people didn't recognize. However, if it was together with the gold, silver, and jewelry, it was obvious that it was a treasure. If they couldn't afford it, they could take it to town and ask for money. Liang Jinxiao frowned. He did not agree with what Hu Chunhua had done. She asked cautiously, Mother, this is not good. After all, these things are for Yin'er. Yin'er said that she doesn't want to accept them. How can we accept them for her? Hu Chunhua glared at Liang Jinxiao and said, Your daughter is silly, so are you? Why wouldn't he want so many things? Your family's Tianfu just happens to need money to attend school. This is great. We don't have to worry about the school fees every year. Third sister-in-law, mother is right. Don't be silly. If you accept the gift, our Zhao family will have a good life. As for Yuner, go and persuade her again. When the time comes, we will still be a family. Ask her to move back, and we will give her a room. It's not easy for a woman to take care of a child. Li Chuiying said. At this moment, he remembered that Zhao Yuner's life was not easy. In fact, it was all calculated. If Zhao Yuner didn't come back, these things would be for Zhao Yuner. They couldn't take advantage of it. If they coaxed Zhao Yuner to come back, these things would belong to everyone in old Zhao's family. Everyone would be able to benefit from it. Liang Jinxiao didn't know how to refute. She knew that since they were targeted by Hua Chunhua and the others, they would never give up the idea of going back. Forget it. She had to talk to Zhao Yuner about it later. Hurry up and move it back. Third daughter-in-law, don't just stand there. Hurry up and help. Hua Chunhua called out. Liang Jinxiao sighed and began to help move the rest of the things down from the carriage. Chapter 267. Auntie, I'll take my leave first. I'll leave Miss Yuner in your care. Young master, take care. We won't see you off. After the carriage was far away, old Zhao's family members happily looked at the things that young Master Meng had sent over. So many jewelry, gold, silver, and jewelry. It's enough for our family to spend for a lifetime, Li Chuiying said with a smile. Not only can we spend for a lifetime, but we can't finish it no matter how much we eat. Old Zhao's family will live a good life. Hua Chunhua smiled until her eyes narrowed into slits. Especially the several gold ingots. They had never seen such large gold ingots before. Not to mention gold ingots, even silver ingots were rarely seen. Mother, since our family has so much money, why don't we build a house first? We can build a big brick house. We don't have to squeeze our whole family into such a small shabby adobe house. It's best if we can build a big courtyard and make it the best one in the village. Li Chuiying began to suggest again. What she wanted most was to be able to enjoy life. Old Zhao's family had been poor for so long. Now that they finally had some money, they should quickly buy the things that needed to be bought. Hua Chunhua felt that Li Chuiying's suggestion was good. We didn't have money before. Now that we have money, we should naturally build a big house. When the time comes, we should build a big house. Each of us will have one room. With that said, most of old Zhao's family members were looking forward to their future life. Zhao Ping went forward with a smile and asked, Grandmother, will each of us girls have a room? Hua Chunhua thought for a moment. There were too many people in the family. If each girl had a room, how big would the house be? Although they had money, they couldn't spend it casually. So she said, the boys will have a room alone. The girls will have a room together. Mother, I want a room alone. I don't want to squeeze with them. Zhao Xinhui shook Hua Chunhua's arm and said with a pout. Hua Chunhua naturally agreed with her precious daughter. Mother is talking about others. Of course, you will have a room alone. Mother, I know you're the best to me. You love me the most. Zhao Xinhui smiled sweetly at Hua Chunhua. Of course, you're my only daughter. In addition to building a house, old Zhao's family members were also discussing other things to add more things to the house and look forward to a bright future. For the excitement of the other families, Liang Jinxiao was worried. After all, they were holding Zhao Yuner's things. If Zhao Yuner didn't agree, these things had to be returned to her. How could they discuss how to spend it now? Mother, this cloth is so beautiful. Do you remember? Last time we were in the cloth shop, they had this kind of cloth. They said it was dozens of silver taels for a bolt. Zhao Xinhui said. She touched the cloth happily as she spoke. Hua Chunhua also remembered after being reminded by Zhao Xinhui. She said, I remember. It seems that young Master Meng has sent good things. Mother, there are 7 or 8 bolts of cloth. I like these 2 bolts. Can you make 2 sets of clothes for me with these 2 bolts? Chapter 268. Of course it's fine if Huier wants to make them. Yuner won't be able to finish these 7 or 8 bolts of cloth by herself. It's just right for you to take 2 bolts, Hua Chunhua said. If Zhao Yuner was beside them, and heard Hua Chuanhua's words, she would probably be angered to death. This level of shamelessness is too amazing, isn't it? She was obviously giving her things to Zhao Xinhui. She made it sound as if she was helping Zhao Yun'er solve the problem of the cloth. Yes, yes. Thank you, mother. Zhao Xinhui's face was full of smiles. With beautiful clothes and so much money at home, she could be considered a young miss in the future. Zhao Xinhui couldn't wait to finish making the clothes and then wear them to walk around the village. Grandmother, there's still so much cloth left. Can you make 2 sets of clothes for Auntie? And let me choose 1 bolt of cloth to make 1 set? Zhao Ping looked at Hua Chunhua expectantly. Do you think Hua Chunhua will agree? After all, she had asked Hua Chunhua to allocate a room for her, and Hua Chunhua had agreed. Before Hua Chunhua could reply, Zhao Xinhui snorted coldly. Zhao Ping, why don't you take a look at your face? It's a waste for you to wear such good clothes. Do you want to wear better clothes to seduce someone? It's useless anyway. Men will vomit when they see your face. It's better for people to know their place. Zhao Xinhui mercilessly poked at Zhao Ping's sore spot. Zhao Ping looked at Zhao Xinhui angrily. This woman was too much. How dare she say that to her? However, Zhao Xinhui's arrogant and despotic manner was protected by Hua Chunhua. Zhao Ping knew that no matter how unhappy she was with Zhao Xinhui's words, she couldn't go against Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Ping suppressed the anger in her heart and complained. Auntie, how can you say that to me? If you can wear better clothes, can't I wear better clothes? Don't all girls like to wear good clothes? They don't need other men to look at them. It's fine as long as they look comfortable. Zhao Xinhui mocked again. She looked at Zhao Ping and raised her chin arrogantly. I wear good clothes because I'm pretty. In the future, a rich man will take a fancy to me, and I'll marry into a good family. In the future, I'll lead the old Zhao family to live a good life. Can you do that? Hua Chunhua also chimed in. That's right. Ping, girl, dress your auntie nicely. In the future, when your auntie marries into a good family, she'll lead us to a good life. It's a waste for you to wear it. But auntie, my clothes are old and torn. I want new clothes. Then I'll buy you some coarse cloth to make clothes. Zhao Ping pouted and looked unhappy. This was too much. How could they treat her like this? No, she had to go back and talk to her parents. Since these things belonged to Zhao Yun'er, the old Zhao family couldn't keep them. They had to give them to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er had to give them to her parents. When the time came, she could ask them to share some of these good things with her. There are still a few bolts of cloth. Get 1 and make a set of clothes for Hua Chunhua said with a smile. Hua Chunhua really loved this eldest granddaughter-in-law. She couldn't bear to part with other people, but she was generous to Pan for once. Chapter 269. Now that her name was mentioned, Pan couldn't pretend to be uninvolved. Hua Chunhua had good intentions, but Pan was a sensible person. No matter how good something was, no matter how much she liked it, she wouldn't want it if she shouldn't have it. She didn't want to be implicated if anything happened. Thus she smiled at Hua Chunhua and said, Grandma, I have clothes to wear. I don't need to dress up too well. Can you make a few more clothes for younger aunt? Younger aunt isn't married yet, so it's always a good thing to wear something nice. Pan's tone was gentle, showing that she didn't fight for anything. At the same time, she was thinking for Zhao Xinhui. Everyone in old Zhao's family liked this kind of delicate and sensible person. Even Zhao Xinhui, who didn't like to get close to others, had a good impression of Pan. Usually, he would intimately hold Pan's hand and chat with her. When Hua Chunhua heard Pan's words, she looked at Pan with admiration. In old Zhao's family, she was the most sensible granddaughter-in-law. She didn't like her for nothing. If Pan says so, then forget it. But now our family has money. When Tianlong goes to the capital to study, let him bring more money with him. After all, he has to socialize there. It's not good if he doesn't have money, Hua Chunhua said. Pan didn't reject Hua Chunhua's words. She didn't say whether the money was taken from the things she gave to Zhao Yun'er. It could be considered old Zhao's family's money. If anything happened in the future, she wouldn't have to take responsibility. It's only right to give Tianlong more money. When Tianlong passes the imperial examinations, he'll be able to help old Zhao's family. Li Chuiying agreed. Hua Chunhua was overjoyed. All right. Let's not stay in the house anymore. Let's go back inside. Move these things into the house. Don't show off your wealth. It won't be good if others see it. Hua Chunhua shouted. Okay. The others responded and began to move the things into the house. After everything was piled up in Hua Chunhua's room, the people who had gathered around old Zhao's house to watch the fun didn't leave. Instead, he was even more curious about what was going on. Was old Zhao's family going to make a fortune? Although they were all country bumpkins, they weren't country bumpkins. They didn't touch anything. He could still recognize gold, silver, and jewels. Who sent so many good things to old Zhao's family? Could it be that someone is here to propose marriage? That Zhao Xinhui is quite pretty. Perhaps a young master from a rich family has taken a fancy to her. That's possible. After all, she's so good-looking. Alas, nowadays it's good to be good-looking. If she can marry into a good family, it seems that old Zhao's family is going to live a good life. I think she's going to be someone's concubine. We country bumpkins definitely won't marry a rich man's wife. What's so good about being a concubine? No matter how rich she is, she's still a concubine. It's better for her to marry into a poor family. At least she's still a concubine. Someone couldn't stand it and said jealously, "You can't say that. We country bumpkins are poor. All we want is to live a good life." Since they sent so many things, it shows that they value Zhao Xinhui. If she marries into their family, she won't suffer too much. Chapter 270. The villagers gathered in the courtyard to discuss, but they couldn't come up with anything. Someone said, "Why don't we go and ask?" "We can go and ask. Look at how happy old Zhao's family is. They probably want people to ask. Let's go and ask." Therefore, the people who wanted to join in the fun gathered together and entered the courtyard of old Zhao's house. "Aunt Zhao, congratulations." "Yes, what's the big deal? Who sent you so many things?" Hua Chunhua was surrounded, and questions came from all around. She didn't know what was going on, so how could she explain it to these people? She said, "It's nothing." "How can it be nothing? I think it's a happy occasion." Hua Chunhua pursed her lips. "It's really nothing. If there's a happy occasion, I'll definitely let you know." "Aunt Zhao, you don't want to tell us. Why are you hiding something good from us? We're all villagers. Don't treat us like strangers." "That's right. Just tell us." Hua Chunhua didn't know how to respond. She couldn't say that she had received gifts from someone for Zhao Yin'er. She would be scolded to death. Okay. Don't ask. When the day of the happy occasion comes, I'll definitely let you know. It's hard to say now. Hua Chunhua said vaguely to deal with the villagers. Seeing that Hua Chunhua didn't want to reveal anything, they knew that they wouldn't be able to get anything out of her even if they asked. Okay. Let's go. Old Zhao's courtyard, which was originally bustling with noise, suddenly became quiet. However, after the villagers asked, old Zhao's family began to pay attention. Who was this young master Meng? Why did he send gifts to Zhao Yin? Mother, why do you think he sent so many treasures to Yin'er? Li Chuiying asked embarrassedly. She was also very curious. Hua Chunhua snapped. How would I know? You're asking me, but who would I ask? Mother, do you think it's a rich young master who has taken a fancy to Yin'er? Li Chuiying guessed. Otherwise, she couldn't think of a reason. He has taken a fancy to Zhao Yin'er. Hua Chunhua thought and sneered. How's that possible? Who would take a fancy to Yin'er? Rich young masters have all kinds of women. Not to mention a woman with a child like Zhao Yin'er. Mother, then tell me why? They're not stupid. They definitely wouldn't send so many good things over for no reason. You're right. Could it be that someone has taken a fancy to Yin'er? I think so. But mother, it's good. Since someone has taken a fancy to Yin'er, it's a good thing. I think it won't be long. Our old Zhao's family is asking for her hand in marriage. Now that they've sent so many gifts, the gift money will definitely be more. Anyway, Yin'er hasn't married yet. When the time comes, we'll marry her off. Li Chuiying was a little excited as she spoke. When she thought of money, she was easily excited. It seemed that her life would be better in the future. Hearing Li Chuiying's words, Hua Chunhua thought that it was true. Chapter 271. They sent so many good things over, but Zhao Yin'er didn't accept them, let alone let Zhao Yin'er get married. Moreover, Zhao Yin'er had already moved out of the family, so it was not easy to control her. Li Chuiying smiled and said, "Mother, why are you worried about this? After all, Yin'er is a member of our Zhao family." Her parents' orders and matchmaker's words. This girl's marriage will naturally be arranged by our elders. Besides, young Master Meng was not bad. To be able to marry such a rich man like young Master Meng, it was Yin'er's blessing. Many people in the village wanted to find a good family for their daughter, but they could not find one like young Master Meng. Why doesn't Yin'er agree? That's true. Although Yin'er has separated from the family, we still have to take care of her marriage, according to the orders of her parents and the words of the matchmaker. That's right, mother. The other members of the old Zhao family were listening. Zhao Ping was a little envious and jealous of Zhao Yin'er. Why could Zhao Yin'er marry into a good family? She wouldn't have to worry about food or clothes for the rest of her life. Liang Jinxiao frowned and said in a low voice, "Mother, I still think that Yin'er has grown up. She can decide her own marriage. If young Master Meng wants to marry her, he has to ask for Yin'er's opinion." Li Chuiying snorted and quickly fanned the flames in Hua Chunhua's ears. "Sister-in-law, how can you be like this? You always disagree with our mother. Yin'er's marriage, as an elder of course, I can handle it. Besides, it's not harming Yin'er. Young Master Meng is such a good man. It's good enough that he likes a woman with a child. She has the right to be picky. Does she really think that she can find a better family?" But Liang Jinxiao still frowned. There was nothing wrong with what she said, but it made people feel uncomfortable. "Well, third brother's wife, don't talk so much. Let's talk about this later." "Okay then." Old Zhao's family members ran away. Hua Chunhua pulled Zhao Xinhui into her room and said to Zhao Xinhui, "Zhao Xinhui, it's one thing to make beautiful clothes for you. Now hurry up and pick a few pieces of jewelry that you like. It'll match with the clothes later." Hua Chunhua couldn't give Zhao Xinhui beautiful jewelry in front of the other branches. Otherwise, they would probably fight for it. Zhao Xinhui's eyes lit up. "Mother, really? Of course it's true. Mother won't lie to you. But you can't pick too many. 3 pieces are enough." Zhao Xinhui nodded heavily, and then began to pick from the box. In the end, she chose a gold hairpin, a gold bracelet and a pearl necklace. "Mother, do you think I look good wearing it?" Zhao Xinhui waved the gold bracelet on her wrist in front of Hua Chunhua's eyes. Yes. My Hui naturally looks good wearing it." "Mother, I think it looks good too," Zhang Xinhui said with a grin. She happily brought the jewelry into her room. After Zhao Yin'er went back, she hurriedly prepared lunch. However, she was a little absent-minded because of young Master Meng. Chapter 272. If young Master Meng really came, with the character of old Zhao's family, they would definitely sell her out. Seeing Zhao Yin'er come back from old Zhao's house with a heavy heart, Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but worry. He asked, "Miss Yin'er, what's wrong? Is there something wrong?" Mu Lianfeng hoped that Zhao Yin'er could confide in him. If he had the ability, he would also help Zhao Yin'er solve her problem. Zhao Yin'er shook her head. "Nothing. There are too many weirdos in my family." "Did someone bully you?" "No, how could it be? How could those people bully me?" Although those people in old Zhao's family were a little weirdos, they didn't dare to do anything to her. She was worried about young Master Meng. He was rich and powerful. He probably had connections with both the underworld and the legal world. If he wanted to make things difficult for a little peasant girl like her, it would be a simple matter. In this era, it was really difficult to live without money and power. For a commoner, someone with power could casually use some tricks to kill her. She didn't have anyone to rely on now. Naturally, she couldn't deal with someone like young Master Meng. Mu Lianfeng smiled slightly. Zhao Yin'er said it casually, but he knew that things were definitely not that simple. Miss Yin, if there's anything, please tell me. If I can help you, I will definitely help you. I definitely won't let anyone bully you, Mu Lianfeng said seriously, as if he was reminding Zhao Yin'er. Okay, Zhao Yin'er responded. She was very touched by Mu Lianfeng's actions. However, Mu Lianfeng wasn't anyone to her. She couldn't rely on him for a lifetime. If there was anything in the future, she had to deal with it herself. After recuperating for a few days, Mu Lianfeng's body was no longer like before. The wound on his ankle was almost healed, so it was fine if he moved slightly. Now Mu Lianfeng could slowly move to the toilet by himself. Mu Lianfeng really didn't like using the cesspool in Zhao Yin'er's house. This was too simple and crude. It was just 2 wooden planks. With such a large person on top of it, there was a feeling that the planks would not be able to bear his weight. If the planks collapsed, his whole body would fall into the cesspool. So every time he went to the toilet, Mu Lianfeng was a little careful. He didn't want the planks to collapse. Many seeds planted in the vegetable garden in Zhao Yin'er's garden had sprouted, and a bunch of them had sprouted. Zhao Yin'er saw that it was almost time to fertilize the vegetables. There was nothing to do in the afternoon. Zhao Yin'er took a dung bucket and prepared to go to the latrine pit to get some dung to water. However, before Mu Lianfeng went to the toilet, he didn't greet Zhao Yin'er. When Zhao Yin'er pushed the door open, she saw Mu Lianfeng, who had taken off his pants, squatting in the cesspool. Both of them were stunned for a few seconds. Zhao Yin'er didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to be in the cesspool. She didn't see Mu Lianfeng come out of the house just now. Why did he suddenly appear out of nowhere? Mu Lianfeng didn't expect Zhao Yin'er to suddenly barge in. It wasn't good to tell Zhao Yin'er about the cesspool. Gradually, he could squat in the cesspool and unbuckle his pants. Naturally, he wouldn't trouble Zhao Yin'er. Miss Yin'er. Mu Lianfeng's face turned slightly red. He was a little embarrassed. Chapter 273. After Mu Lianfeng coughed awkwardly, Zhao Yin'er finally reacted. Zhao Yin'er quickly turned her back and rubbed her forehead. Oh my God, who could tell her what kind of embarrassing thing she had done again? She didn't know how to explain it to Mu Lianfeng now. I didn't know there was someone in the latrine. Young Master Mu, why didn't you tell me when you went to the latrine? I could have helped you, Zhao Yin'er said awkwardly. But if she didn't say anything, the atmosphere would be even more awkward. Thinking of the scene she saw just now, Zhao Yin'er was extremely embarrassed. Thinking about it, Mu Lianfeng was really pitiful. She had seen his entire body from head to toe. Since she had seen him naked, Zhao Yin'er wondered if she should be responsible for Mu Lianfeng. I can do it myself, so I didn't trouble Miss Yin. Does Miss Yin also want to go to the latrine? Do you want me to hurry? Mu Lianfeng asked. No need. Young Master Mu, you can take your time. I'll leave first. Just let me know when you're done. Zhao Yin'er said this and hurriedly ran away. When she reached the front yard, her entire face was red. It was probably the first time she had encountered such an embarrassing situation. When Dao saw Zhao Yin'er like this, he quickly asked, Mother, what's wrong? Why is your face so red? Are you feeling unwell? Mother, it's nothing, Zhao Yin'er quickly said. Oh mother, it's good that you're fine. I'll continue to play with Xiao Mao, Dao said in a soft voice. After a while he ran away. He probably wanted to get some grass for Xiao Mao first and feed it to it later. Not long after, Mu Lianfeng came out of the latrine. Miss Yin'er, I'm done. Young Master Mu, you're so fast? Zhao Yin'er felt a little guilty in her heart. Did she interrupt the other party's mood? Was that why it was done so quickly? Mu Lianfeng didn't know how to answer Zhao Yin'er's question. After all, he also felt embarrassed. Then I'm going. Zhao Yin'er took the dung bucket and went to the latrine. She got some dung and mixed it with some water. Then, she began to fertilize the vegetables in the vegetable garden. Once the excrement was stirred up, the entire courtyard was filled with that smell. However, the villagers seemed to be used to it. After all, they didn't have any other fertilizers, so they often fertilized their vegetables like this. When Zhao Yin'er was doing it, her stomach churned a few times, and she felt a little nauseous. Unfortunately, she had to do it herself, and she had to endure the discomfort in her heart. Mu Lianfeng stood by the door and looked outside. He could see Zhao Yun'er's figure busily working in the vegetable garden. A hint of heartache appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect that Zhao Yun'er would have to do it herself. It was really too tiring. Although it was comfortable to stay with Zhao Yun'er, Mu Lianfeng suddenly felt that it might be more comfortable to leave with Zhao Yun'er and live a good life being served by others. Unfortunately, Zhao Yun'er might not agree. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the village became lively again. Zhao Tianlong returned from the academy. Old Zhao's family would hold a banquet tomorrow. Her fifth uncle, Zhao Wensheng, also returned to the village. Chapter 274. Zhao Tianlong and Zhao Wensheng had rented an ox cart, and the two of them sat on it. There were also some things on the cart. For tomorrow's banquet, other than some vegetables and meat dishes, they could buy everything in the village. For those that could not be bought, they bought them from the town and brought them back, saving them the trouble of making another trip. Naturally, this time, Zhao Tianlong's banquet was not a traditional one. It was just some delicious food, and a banquet for the villagers to celebrate Zhao Tianlong's birthday. Of course, the villagers had to send gifts to old Zhao's family first. It was up to them to decide how much they wanted to send. In any case, they did not have to go by the traditional way. The ox cart passed by Zhao Yun'er's house. Zhao Yun'er originally did not want to join in the fun, but the ox cart finally stopped in front of her house. Zhao Wensheng walked down from the ox cart with a piece of pork in his hand. It was estimated to be 1 jin heavy. Since he was already in front of her house, Zhao Yun'er had no reason to not see him. This was also the first time she met Zhao Tianlong face to face. This was the first time Zhao Yun'er met her eldest cousin brother. He gave off a good impression. His face was very delicate and pretty, and he had a scholarly air about him. He was a little thin, but he was still tall and barely passable. A man like Zhao Tianlong was considered rare in the village. After all, it was hard to find a man who had studied and was not bad-looking. It was no wonder that Shen Pan was willing to marry into the village. She had probably taken a fancy to Zhao Tianlong. When Zhao Tianlong faced Zhao Yun'er, he gave a faint smile, and his attitude was neither cold nor warm. Zhao Yun'er did not expect him to be so warm. After all, compared to the other people in old Zhao's family who looked down on her and gave her the cold shoulder, his attitude was much better. However, for some reason, Zhao Yun'er could still feel the alienation and isolation from Zhao Tianlong. If the two of them had not met face to face, perhaps he would not even bother to greet her. This faint smile was only out of politeness and to ease the awkwardness. Zhao Wensheng carried the pork and handed it to Zhao Yun'er. "Yun'er girl, I said that I would bring this for you from the town. Eat some with Daodu to nourish your body." Zhang Wensheng had used his own private savings to buy the pork. He remembered that his niece was living a difficult life, so he brought 1 jin of pork back from the town this time. The ox cart had stopped in front of Zhao Yun'er's house was to give the food to Zhao Yun'er in advance. Otherwise, after returning to old Zhao's house, if he wanted to send the pork to Zhao Yun'er again, Hua Chunhua and the others would probably make a fuss again. Fifth uncle, Zhao Yun'er saw that Zhao Wensheng was actually thinking about her. It would be a lie to say that she was not moved. Thinking about it, not everyone in old Zhao's family was a weirdo. There were quite a few decent ones. "Why are you in a daze? Take it. But don't tell your grandmother and the others," Zhao Wensheng warned. Zhao Yun'er did not refuse. Since Zhao Wensheng had personally brought it back to her, it meant that he was sincere. "Thank you, fifth uncle." "You're welcome. Yun'er, your eldest cousin brother, and I will go back first. If you want to play, you can go over in a while. It's probably lively at home. Today is a happy day. If you go over, your grandmother and the others will definitely not say anything." Zhao Yun'er was too lazy to go over, but in front of Zhao Wensheng, she did not refuse. Thus she said, "Okay, fifth uncle, you can go back first." Okay. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.